Robinson for Ashley Heron, and we'll see you soon.
FIS World Cup Freestyle Skiing is sponsored by Ericsson, helping to create the most powerful communications companies in the world.
Weekday mornings on Sportsnet News.
Home is where the heart is for Les Bartley and his Toronto Rock. They've won 6 of their last 7, but this afternoon at ACC, a big test. They'll host the Rochester Knighthawks on Rogers Sportsnet. They're 2 young players in national lacrosse who quickly joined the ranks of indoor lacrosse superstardom. Colin Doyle leads the Rock with guts, passion, and clutch goals, while many boast that John Grant Jr. of the Knighthawks may lay claim to the greatest hands this sport has ever seen. Today, all their skill will be on display in another physical clash of wills. 2 veterans will have the responsibility to stop those 2 superstars today, and while it's no easy task, Bob Watson's weathered all the storms en route to becoming the most decorated goalie the league has to offer. While Pat O'Toole has been reborn in Rochester and helped the Hawks reel off 5 straight victories in their quest to get back to the title game, the top netminder in the league so far. 2 of the best teams in indoor lacrosse, 2 of the greatest players in the game. The Rock battle the Knighthawks next on Molson Export National Lacrosse, live on Rogers Sportsnet. Welcome to Air Canada Centre, a mid-season clash of the Titans this afternoon. It's the Rochester Knighthawks and the Toronto Rock, Molson Export National Lacrosse. 2 of the bright young stars in any professional sport going head-to-head this afternoon. John Grant and Colin Doyle, 2 of the headliners as these 2 clubs get ready to do battle. Hi everyone, I'm Roger Millions and welcome to the ACC along with our color analyst Brian Shanahan. We're not kidding, this may be mid-season, but this is a playoff confrontation.
Yeah, these are 2 very hot teams. This might be a preview of a championship later on.
No question about the numbers speak for themselves. They're both on a roll.
Yeah, I look at Rochester. They've only allowed 36 goals in the last 4 games. A lot of people know how good their offense is. They don't get enough credit for their defense. Of course, Toronto does. Once again, they lead the league in the best goals against average.
My question to you is this. Is there a more prolific player than this man right here, John Grant Jr.?
Well, I don't know. John Tavares is still up there, but this guy is the next thing. He's fantastic. From Peterborough, Ontario, he can shoot, he's got the moves, and he's big and strong as well.
But he and the Rochester Knighthawks have had all sorts of problems here at ACC, the home of the Toronto Rock, and they're smiling thanks to this man, Bob Watson.
Oh, it's funny because some people are talking about whether there's a changing of the guard with the Toronto goaltenders. But Bob Watson, he's only 32, and although his record is 3-3, that speaks more about what the team was doing those games. He's still got the 2nd best goals against in the league. He's still one of the premier goalies.
And they're on home floor, and Les Bartley likes no place better than right here at the ACC.
And Rochester has not had any luck. They've never won in Toronto.
That says it all, and the Rock, of course, will helped tremendously in their run to perhaps another championship. Now for more on the game, let's go to the floor and our man Jim Mike. Jimmy?
Thank you, Roger. Here with Les Bartley, the head coach of the Toronto Rock. All year, Les, you've talked about how tough your schedule is. 1 week after playing the Ravens and beating a very tough team, you take on the hottest team in the league, the Rochester Knighthawks.
Yeah, you know, Rochester's a handful always. They have been the last 4 years in the league. And, you know, we expect a hard-fought game here again tonight.
Good luck, Les. Thank you very much. Coming up, it's going to be a thing of beauty. The Rock and the Knighthawks, Molson Export National Lacrosse on Rogers Sportsnet. Loving it! Molson Export National Lacrosse on Rogers Sportsnet is brought to you by Molson Export. At X today, Yamaha Motors, making memories that last a lifetime. Advil for today's tough pain. And by www.winnatruck.ca. Log on today for your chance to win.
Power Vitamins for Men, proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at fine pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
Your winter weather? More snow with a 100% chance of acceleration. The award-winning drive. It's what makes winter cool.
A world leader in photo imaging products now brings you an easier way to take and print beautiful photos. Simply plug a Canon PowerShot digital camera directly into a Canon photo printer and print. It's that easy.
When you have a big family, anything can happen. Now, who did this? The animals are housebroken. What? They just break the house sometimes. That's why I like the Black & Decker Mega Mouse. It sands faster, polishes, it even gets into tight spots.
The Mega Mouse from Black & Decker.
Hey, guys, meet the new guy. Hi, I'm Bob Holtkamp. Hey, help yourself to some snacks.
Speaking of which, you know what would taste good about now?
Yeah, a big, hot and juicy cheeseburger.
With everything.
I can almost taste it.
Telling me, if there are a place to get a hamburger that good this late, I'd not only drive, I'd buy.
Really?
Wendy's classic hamburgers are made fresh, so they're always hot and juicy, so you can eat great even late.
You must be the new guy.
Yeah, thanks.
Wendy's, it's better here.
Quick look at the National Lacrosse League point leaders. Has 4 of the top 7 scorers in the league in today's game. Colin Doyle and Blaine Manning for the Rock. John Grant Jr. and Shawn Williams from Rochester. Of course, the legendary John Tavares leading and scoring with 69 points. But some offensive studs in this game today. The Knighthawks are on a roll. Winners of 5 in a row. 3 of those 5 wins have come on the road. And they've allowed just 14 goals in the last 2 games. Coming up, we'll have the Knighthawks and the Rock. More of Molson Export National Lacrosse on Rogers Sportsnet.
The home of the Maple Leaf, where crisp, clean, cold beer comes from.
I am Canadian. Tell your own fortune. Post your resume and see what tomorrow holds. Even if you already have a job, it's free, easy, and confidential. You control who sees your resume and who doesn't. So log on and leave nothing to chance.
Log on to www.winnatruck.ca for your chance to win a Mazda B-Series truck. Contest details, rules, and regulations available at www.winnatruck.ca. Must be 19 years of age to enter, void where prohibited.
Welcome back to Air Canada Centre, a near-capacity crowd, and that means numbers close to 18,000 on hand this afternoon for the Rock and the Rochester Knighthawks. Knighthawks, two of the best teams in the National Lacrosse League. The starting goalies are brought to you by Wendy's Late Night Pickup Window, where you can eat great, even late. These two men are absolutely fantastic. Patty O'Toole of the Rochester Knighthawks is in the crowd, but he is #1 right now in the National Lacrosse League as far as starting netliners are concerned. 10.2 goals against average. He's been red hot, and a big reason this team has had a resurgence on defense. And Bob Watson is the senior member, but as you say, Brian Shanahan, far from done. A big player at big time.
Yeah, and these are two veteran goalies that have had some great battles against each other over the years.
Here's our officials today, led by Bill Fox, Tom Sutton, and Grant Spees. Handshakes all around for the Rochester Knighthawks, and there is the venerable Bill Fox, ready to go with a big smile on his face, and why not? Big crowd on hand for this tilt. The Central Division and the Northern Division, two of the very best. 5 in a row for the Knighthawks, led by Pat O'Toole, and 6 and 7 for the Toronto Rock. Like I said a little bit earlier, it may not be the playoffs, but I like the matchup.
And the funny thing, Raj, these teams have a 4-4 record against each other in regular season games. Each team has won every home game. So it's definitely a homer series.
Indeed it is. Cory Bomberry wins the face-off from Steve Cole, and we're underway here at Air Canada Centre. There's an electric buzz in the crowd. There's no question of that as Marshall Abrams fishes it across, and quickly Mike Asen, the captain of the Knighthawks, brings it up to mid-floor. Bomberry into the corner. Knighthawks will set up offense initially, see what they can do to work things around. There's an opportunity, fake pass to John Grant. Now Williams has it. Williams feeds it over, up the middle. It's Sudan with a blast, and Tim Sudan is stopped by Bob Watson and flips it out, and Glenn Clark will be the man on the spot, bringing it up floor in transition for the Toronto Rock. Rock have played very, very well on both ends of the floor. Jim Veltman, the league leader in loose balls, flips it across. Colin Doyle, #2 in scoring. In front, a shot and a great save by Pat O'Toole. Breaking it all by as low as Carter Livingston with an opportunity.
That was a beautiful pick and roll with Carter Livingston, the recipient of a nice pass from Colin Doyle.
Good shot, good save. Opportunity for the Knighthawks now. John Grant has it. Big John Grant. Watcher in, shoots off the bar. He scored at least 4 goals in 4 games so far this season.
He just stepped around Big Dan Lattiser quite easily on that play.
Curt Malawsky moves towards the net, shoots, and Bob Watson stands tall to make the save. Lots of action, and we've only played a minute and a half so far at Air Canada Centre. Patrick Merrill for the Rock, looking for some help. Finds Blaine Manning, and Manning, the leader in power play goals in the National Lacrosse League, is turned around by Turner, but flips it across to Merrill. Possession for the Rock, 10 seconds of the shot clock. Kevin Finneran looks for some help, still making changes. Finneran walks towards the goal, can't get his shot away, dying seconds on the shot clock. Finneran flips to the corner, and Popeye Doyle, and he says enough's enough, can't get his shot, flip it away. Possession change for the Rochester Knighthawks. Chris Schiller brings it up, highly thought of, 7 goals on defense across, taken by the Knighthawks. Mid-floor, it's Williams, back to John Grant Jr. Grant, University of Delaware product, walks in, moves around Pat Coyle towards the net, turns away, Coyle all over him, a back shot, right on, and Watson with a save. Loose ball, we'll find it, it's Grant, but they'll blow it down. Maybe a lucky thing for the Toronto Rock.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was a lucky thing. If John Grant gets that ball in that close, there's not much chance he's going to miss. Already he's been dangerous twice. Take a look at this play, John Grant. Even on a bad angle, he gets a good hard shot away.
Williams with a blast, right on, and blocks it again, standing tall. Pat Coyle turns it away, one of the top defenders in the game. Flips it out to Steve Cole, and he's got room up the floor. Cole looks for Colin Doyle, and he can't hit him with a long pass. But they're in a hurry to gather it in, or at least try to, with Aaron Wilson. He has company. A couple of members of the Knighthawks trying to knock the ball away. Mike Hazen, the captain, loses it, drops it back, and it's taken by Marshall Abrams. Abrams behind the Knighthawks net. Flips it up. Both these teams led the first quarter, Shanny. Both of them have outscored the opposition widely. The Rock 26-16, and Knighthawks 31-23 so far this season. So we'll find out who comes away here. Coming away up the floor in a hurry is Steve Cole. Cole stops, waits in transition. Complete change, of course, for the Rock. They get the offensive attack going, and Colin Doyle will try to spur things on. Opening moment here at ACC, the Rock and the Knighthawks. Both at Export National Lacrosse on Rogers Sportsnet. Blaine Manning with an opportunity.
Definitely a high energy level out here on the floor. Both these teams, offensively, defensively, really going at each other hard.
Turner looks for some help, drops it off to John Grant. Looking to create some offense is Shawn Williams. Williams feeds it over to Bomberry, and that ball will bounce high into the crowd, and there's a souvenir here at Air Canada Center. Courtesy of the stick of Cory Bomberry, and the save of Bob and Rocky.
Bomberry's got one of the hardest outside shots. That went about 40 rows up.
Don't grab him! Don't grab him! Winds up and scores! John Grant with that quick release fires it in. Number 24 in the season for the big man, and he shows you why.
You just can't give Grant that much room, but I mean, that's a little pick is just enough. Shawn Williams throws a little pick on Pat Coyle here, and it's just enough to give Grant some room to shoot.
I think Bobby Watson might have got a very little piece of it, but was moving the other way and was so tough to come back in the ball.
And with a guy who shoots as well as John Grant, that's great scoring area for him.
Nighthawks grab the lead. As Chris Schiller has possession. Another key draw for the Nighthawks. They've won both of them so far in the game. That will allow them to set up some offense on the attack. Cory Bomberry has some company. Gibson knocks him down. Loose ball. Who's going to find it? Derek Gibson. Grounded in his own end. Looks at the Pat Coyle. In transition, the Rock will come back. They trail it by one early on at ACC. Coyle to the corner.
Get him up.
Glenn Clark drops it back. There's the captain, Jim Veltman. Veltman moves to the middle, turns back, flips it across to Blaine Manning. A shot pass that kind of misses Merrill, and it goes off the wall. And possession turns to Pat O'Toole. We'll start things off for Rochester. Mid-floor. Casually, the top pick in last year's draft, Ted Jenner. Brings the ball up. Jenner.
Down, boys, down, play through
Some help. Gives it down to John Grant Jr. Grant the goal scorer with a flip pass. It goes up high, knocked down by the Rock. As Grant gets in a bit of a confrontation with Ian Rubel. Nothing comes out of that. Grant has given the Nighthawks the lead. They're up 1-0 here on Rogers Sportsnet.
Become the featured presentation at an invitation-only premiere by controlling who sees your resume and who doesn't, leaving just you, your resume, and the person who hired you.
Log on to www.winatruck.ca for your chance to win a Mazda B-Series truck. Contest details, rules, and regulations available at www.winatruck.ca. Must be 19 years of age to enter. Void where prohibited.
Why do we do what we do? Why do we look like we do? Why do we order the large wings when a medium would do? Why do we sacrifice sleep for a good time? Why do we do it? Because we can. The Coors Light Brewing Company wishes you a most excellent weekend. Coors Light, the silver bullet. Driving down that road again, sure could use a friend to lend a helping hand. I wanna be somebody, so I depend on you. Please help me be somebody. I wanna be somebody.
Grant has the lone goal this afternoon. Colin Doyle looks for the equalizer. It's 1-0 Rochester. The first quarter of this afternoon's game is brought to you by Wendy's Late Night Pickup Windows. Where you can eat great even late, and by Speedy Auto Service at Speedy, you're somebody. Let's take a look now at the Yamaha Motors keys to the game, brought to you by Yamaha Motors, making memories that last a lifetime.
Hi, John Grant, Rochester Knighthawks. Tonight's keys to the game are, first of all, to shut down their transition and stay out of the box. Their power play is pretty potent, so if we can stay 5-on-5 with these guys, I think we're going to do well tonight.
Hi, I'm Colin Doyle with Toronto Rock. The keys to this afternoon's game are for our special teams to be great, for offense to spread the ball around and scoring from everywhere, and lastly, to keep their big guns to a minimum, like John Grant, Shawn Williams, and Curt Malawsky.
Back on the floor, the Nighthawks continue to press. Colin Doyle originally drafted by the Rochester Knighthawks back in 1997. In fact, up the floor in transition.
We're going to see the specialty team here. It looks like there's going to be a penalty here to Rochester.
Looks like Tim Sudan got caught up behind with Glenn Clark. They whacked and cracked each other. Again, the first quarter brought to you by Wendy's Late Night Pickup Window, where you can eat great, even late. And by Speedy Auto Service at Speedy, you're a somebody.
Well, there was actually a penalty on the Toronto Rock. Glenn Clark was a delayed whistle. So we're going to see the power play of Rochester.
Clark was tied up with Tim Sudan and gave him the extra whack, and he goes off the floor. Power play for Rochester. So far this season, operating at exactly 50%. John Grant Jr. takes a shot, flips it to the corner, back to John Grant Jr. again. Grant Jr. with a quick shot that just sails off. A stick, and Shawn Williams takes over. Williams compliments John Grant Jr. so well, flips it out to Bomberry, walks in for his shot, and deflects away harmlessly. Steve Toll has it at mid-floor. Knocked down. And here's Grant again. He'll take his time, operating on the power play, see if he can generate some offense. The lone goal scorer is 24th of the season and a 1-0 Rochester lead. There's some of his stick control with that little flip pass over to Bomberry. Derek Malawsky off the feed from Grant. Grant back in the middle. That's a shot, goal, and a goal! What a blast by John Grant Jr.
Surprisingly, John Grant only has 3 power plays out of his 24 goals coming into this game. But here you see, you give him a little bit of room. Oh, and that's not much room at all. He's got a great shot. He just drills it in there. And I'd say the reason he only has 3 or 4 goals now in a power play is just people are taking that shot away.
Bob Watson saw that all the way. They just beat it, plain and simple. My goodness, what a blast. 2-0. Knighthawks lead. They're off to a fast start here at Air Canada Center. Colin Doyle tries to lead the charge on offense for a team that's won 6 of the last 7, the Toronto Rock. Knighthawks looking for their first ever win on the floor here at ACC. Off to a fine start. Finneran with a great save for the Rock. Into Wilson, now Blaine Manning. Back pass. Kept by Aaron Wilson. Long shot. Pat O'Toole. That's a can of corn for him. Makes an easy save and flips it out.
You know, Raj, even though Rochester has never won here, John Grant has always performed well here. He scored 6 goals last year. Had an unbelievable game in the championship 3 years ago. Nearly won it single-handedly for Rochester.
And the Knighthawks looking for more if they can find it. Pass misses Malawsky, but there's John Grant again. Closely shadowed by Daryl Gibson. The defender knocks the ball away, and Gibson caused that by some great defensive work. Up the floor will come the Toronto Rock when they retain possession. And here we go. It'll be Blaine Manning. Has come on after the first couple of games this season to be one of the offensive leaders in the National Lacrosse League, but he is being hammered on defensively. Here's an opportunity in front. A shot, and there's the shoulder of Pat O'Toole. There to turn aside Todd Richard.
Nice passing by Manning and Sandy Chapman on that play. Tom Montour wasn't able to finish it off.
Thanks to Chapman's good work, position is retained by the Rock. Colin Doyle flips it across. This is his man into the corner, Mike Hazen. Captain drops it back for the goaltender, and Pat O'Toole will slow things down, and calmly and coolly he lets Hazen move the ball up the floor. Mid-floor now. With possession is Ted Jenner. Mercyhurst College, where he was drafted out of this year. Jenner moves away, gets whacked a couple of times by Steve Toll to Bomberry. The big blast, the save by Bob Watson. Bomberry gets another crack at it. New 30-second clock. Bomberry moves away with a nice little dipsy-doodle and fires the ball in the goal. Oh my goodness, another fine play this time. It is Cory Bomberry with a big shot. 3-0 Rochester.
Well, I think I was more impressed by the fake he put on before. Watch this fake here. And he doesn't get quite by there, but he comes back and takes a nice little screen shot. Bob Watson would probably like that one back. Well, watch this fake. Here we go. And he actually had Ian Rumo beat on that play, but he was running into another Rock defender, backed up
another face-off. They have a 3-0 lead. I got to ask you this question about Bob Watson in a hurry. I know we're all a big fan of Bob, but he's been beaten by 3 long shots. Jim Veltman with a shot and a goal. So much for that. Veltman comes right back up the floor and leaves Rocker on the board.
Oh, there's another long shot. And this is what the captain does for your team. When your team is down, needs a break, needs a lift. Jim Veltman, who so often does it, comes back with a big outside shot as well. A bit of a spinner on that one.
A little English shot it and gets his 10th goal of the season. So Jim Veltman with a big goal. I was mentioning Watson was beaten with 3 long shots, but there's one going the other way.
And you know, in fairness to Bob, I think the only one that he should have had was probably Cory Bomberry's. I think the other 2 were, from where John Grant is shooting them, not a lot of cover, especially on the power play. There's not much you can do.
3-1. Rock back in it. Possession go to the Knighthawks. The Knighthawks have done a masterful job on faceoffs. They've won all of them so far. As a result, they've had opportunities.
And you know what? Pat Jones has been taking the faceoffs to the Rock most of this season. The Rock has been pretty successful. He's not in the lineup today. They put Ian Rubel in the lineup coming back from his injury, and they took Pat Jones out. I wonder if that might hurt them.
Rubel's been sidelined for 4 months with a hand problem. He comes back this afternoon at ACC. Rock with possession. Down by 2. A quick blast. There's a chance for Aaron Wilson, but there is Pat O'Toole. Arms up in the air. See if there's an infraction.
Yeah, Rochester's getting a penalty here. The Rock had an extra man in there, but again, you see the veteran leadership by Pat O'Toole. Made that big save because he read the play.
That'll be a Rock power play and we return. A quick start by the Knighthawks. They're up by 2.
Power Vitamins for Men, proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at fine pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
Where can I find out about getting a job? Where can I search for health information online?
Where can I learn about starting a business?
Where can we find information about climate change?
Got questions? The Government of Canada's website has information about these subjects and more. It's there for you. Canada.gc.ca. A message from the Government of Canada.
Some people believe there's a carpentry gene, and I think I got it. Hanging things, I'm a little hit or miss on. But with the Black & Decker Bullseye, it's foolproof. I just find a stud, hang it on the wall, and it self-levels. Gives you a straight line every time.
The Bullseye from Black & Decker.
With Derek Keenan, the assistant coach of the Toronto Rock, in charge of the defense. And Derek, what is it about Rochester offensively that causes problems for teams' defenses in this league?
Well, John Grant, for one, tremendous outside shooter. We're giving him a little bit too much space, but you know we're doing a decent job. We've been in the shooting lane a bit, but obviously you can't give him very much space at all because he's going to bury it. So other than that, though, I think we're playing pretty well.
Thank you very much, Derek. That's from the Molson Export Bench Report. It's going to back up to you, Roger.
All right, Jimmy, the Rock have narrowed the gap to 2. They'll try to make it 1 with the first power play of the game, as far as the Rock are concerned. Colin Doyle will flip it across. They'll use some patience here. Kevin Finneran finding his offensive touch to Doyle. Now Manning. Again, Blaine Manning leads the league in power play goals. In front to Doyle, misses him. 52%. As you can see, the Rock have that to work against. That was a penalty kill for Rochester. There's a shot, and it's in.
Captain Jim Veltman, when you need him, he's really coming through. And not only has Toronto's power play been awesome all season, I think they are perfect the last few weeks. They're scoring on their first shots. Once again, this is, I think, 4th power play in a row I've seen where they're scoring on their first shot on net. Now that one, Pat O'Toole got a piece of it. Veltman, who doesn't come inside on the power play too often like that, shows some nice moves, and he's definitely lifted his team.
Well, you've mentioned it a couple of times. That's what captains do. They find a way to lead their team down 3-0. It's Jim Veltman and Jim Veltman. Back-to-back goals to cut the gap to 1.
Now, interesting about this face-off, you mentioned Toronto has been losing them. Cory Bomberry's won 5 out of 5 face-offs. Pat Jones, who I told you was out of the lineup today, 5th in the league in face-off percentage. So far, the Rock is missing him. There's Veltman again coming
Off the bench. The pass comes across. Knighthawks with Tim Sudan, an original member of the Knighthawks. Leads the team in career games, in fact. Andrew Turner is also in the penalty box for hitting from behind, and that allows the Rock another power play. 42 goals now on the power play so far for the Rock. They came into this one with just under 63% efficiency. I would imagine that that's 63.
So Roger Rock was on a power play, and then right back on the power play with Turner in there again.
Back-to-back opportunities. Colin Doyle flips it back. This is Finneran. Finneran chases the ball down. Has some trouble with it, but snags it before it crosses the center line. Less than a minute to go with a power play. A chance for Finneran, who sails it wide. Veltman tried to get the loose ball. It's knocked down. Position goes to the Knighthawks. They'll try to slow things down a little bit. Certainly the momentum has turned in favor of the Toronto Rock in quarter number one. Talked about both teams being so proficient as they start games, outscoring the opposition wildly. I guess that would make sense that it's close. Nice play by Curt Malawsky to give the ball back to Pat O'Toole, and an opportunity for the Rochester Knighthawks to kill some more time off the clock. Less than 10 to go in the shot clock. We don't care much about that. We care more about just killing some time away. Tim Sudan being harassed by Pat Doyle with an easy shot on Watson. That turns the ball back, and the power play will continue, albeit brief, for the Toronto Rock. And up the floor in a hurry comes Dan Ladiseur. Big Dog flips it back to Blaine Manning. 9 seconds of power play number 2 for the Rock, trying to even the score if they can. Steve Toll flips it back. Here's a chance for Doyle. In front, Colin Doyle with a shot, and there's Pat O'Toole knocking it down. Didn't know where the ball was, but got some great work by his defenders to keep it away.
Great work by O'Toole. He just gave Colin Doyle no room to shoot at. Doyle made a few moves, and O'Toole didn't bite on any of them.
Games are at even strength as John Grant brings it to Shawn Williams. Williams has had a pretty decent season at 10 goals and 43 points coming into this one. Moves to the middle of the floor, tries to find Grant, knocked away by the Rock, and that defense is coming back. Good team defense by Toronto. With a loose ball, they move it up in transition, and Glenn Clark waits for some help. Quick whistle down.
Oh, another penalty. I think it's too many men for the Rock this time.
Going it down, Bob Watson trying to get off the floor. Les Bartley kind of looks on, saying, okay, how'd that happen? Too many men against the Toronto Rock, and they'll be shorthanded.
Give Bob Watson some credit. I think he counted there was too many men on, so he ran to the bench. But Grant Spees, the technical referee, had counted and caught them already.
There's the explanation to Bob Watson as he goes back to the goal. A somewhat lighthearted conversation with the official. All Les Bartley can do is shake his head. But hey, they've shut that off before as far as this 3-0 lead is concerned this afternoon. We'll see if they can kill this one off.
So the 4th best power play for Rochester is going against the 2nd best defensive team, or penalty killing. The perfect 1-for-1 so far. See if they take away John Grant's shot this season.
Grant to the trigger man, tries to get a blast away. Sails it wide off the bar. Ball is loose. Rock 5 for possession. Malawsky steals. Walks right in and turns around the crease. Curt Malawsky. Good work by Malawsky. Knocked the ball away. Allow the Knighthawks a new clock. 5 seconds on the shot clock. The shot blasted away. And Clark picks it up off the glass and turns back for the Rock. Ahead to Colin Doyle. He'll go one-on-one on the defender, Andrew Turner. Killing the penalty. Doyle will stop it. Throw it back to Steve Toll. And time will kick off the clock on this Rochester man advantage. Steve Toll to the corner. Mrs. Doyle. Big bounce for the ball. And Doyle tries to grab it. He is upset with that hit by Turner and goes after him. Doyle was more than a few words for Andrew Turner.
Colin Doyle is his feisty self today.
Possession stays with Doyle. Puts it way across the court.
Oh, another penalty's coming. Rochester's getting a penalty here. I didn't see what happened, but the referee's arm is up.
Can't be happy with that ball. They will not be pleased giving up a power play like that for no apparent reason. Blaine Manning flips it in front, taken away by Cougarman, but the whistle goes, and that penalty will be called against Rochester. It'll even it up.
Johnny Grant isn't going to the penalty box, and that's doubly nice for the Toronto Rock team.
As John Grant goes to the penalty box, the first quarter was brought to you by Wendy's late night pickup window, where you can eat great, even late. And by by Speedy Auto Service. That's Speedy. You're a somebody. John Grant sitting in the sin bin, so to speak. Even straight, both a man down on the floor. Finneran getting worked over nicely by Steve Penny, a former Montreal Express player. Back now to Blaine Manning in front. Steve Toll finishes off the pretty three-way passing play. We're even at 3.
Oh, that was a beautiful goal, some beautiful passing. And watch Finneran. Watch, this is almost like a drop pass. Nice play, bang, bang, empty net. Holy cow, and that all starts with Finneran. Watch this drop pass. I think it was a drop pass.
Colin Doyle turned that over to Steve Toll so fast there was nothing Patrick Merrill could do, and that is goal number 20 on the season for Steve Toll, and it's a 3-3 tie.
And I tell you, Colin Doyle, when he gets that ball, the goalies really overplay him because they think he's going hard to the net. There's some nice passes, giving some guys some empty net goals because he can draw the goalie out.
Number 2 in the assist department of the National Lacrosse League is Colin Doyle. Doyle got a brand new game once again. Jeremy Hollenbach feeds it across for Williams, but the shot clock goes to 0. And since that 3-0 lead, the Rock have really given nothing on offense for Rochester at all. Their defense is so solid in their own end. Bob Watson comes over the goal, denying seconds along. Feed in front of him. There is Colin Doyle with the back flip that just sails wide. Canada fields the goal. That ends quarter number 1 here at Air Canada Centre. Great comeback by the Rock as they thrill their own crowd. Crowd's been pretty happy. Another chance late in the game in this first quarter, but it's even at 3 after 1.
Tell your own fortune. Post your resume and see what tomorrow holds. Even if you already have a job, it's free, easy, and confidential. You control who sees your resume and who doesn't. So log on and leave nothing to chance.
Yamaha, the continued evolution of the snowmobile. The next step, and a step beyond. The 2003 RX-1 and SX Viper at your Yamaha dealer.
Log on to www.winatruck.ca for your chance to win a Mazda B-Series truck. Contest details, rules, and regulations available at www.winatruck.ca. Must be 19 years of age to enter. Void where prohibited.
Driving down that road again, sure could use a friend to lend a helping hand. I wanna be somebody, so I depend on you. Please help me be somebody. I wanna be somebody.
Welcome back to Air Canada Centre. We played a quarter and it's tied at 3. The Knighthawks and the Toronto Rock. And a reminder, the Pharmacist Grand Slam of Curling, the Players' Championship, continues tonight. Semi-finals. There are the times in your region across the country out of Leduc, Alberta. That's semi-final number 1. Semi-final number 2 is tomorrow afternoon. And don't miss the championship final, 8 o'clock Eastern. The Pharmacist Grand Slam of Curling on Rogers Sportsnet. Jim Veltman was a big reason why the Toronto Rock came back in quarter number 1, 2 goals. The captain leading the charge, Paul Day, watched on and thought to himself, hey, we had a 3-0 lead. Things are pretty good off to a good start, but that can go away in a hurry at the Air Canada Centre.
Yeah, and as you say, Captain Jim Veltman, I tell you, he's getting older, but he's not getting any worse, and his stats are actually up this year. You see it with John Tavares in Buffalo, the same thing. He's not slowing down at all.
Second quarter action is underway. Bomberry in goal, and that's a Toronto Rock face-off win. It hasn't been all that easy so far in the face-off. And the Rock going to get a chance for some possession, and that's what they want as they come back with 3 consecutive goals. Both teams have had 3-goal streaks. Quarter number 2 has been the worst of the year for Rochester. The Rock have outscored their opposition by 5. Veltman shot. He scores his hat-trick goal. Jim Veltman, 3 this afternoon. The Rock have their first lead.
Hat-trick already for Jim Veltman, and he's not used to this because he hesitated for a while before he realized, what am I doing? I can step right in here. Watch here. He could shoot. He stopped before he said, hey, I'm going in. Great goal, nice bounce shot. I think he was shocked at how much room he had there. They didn't give him respect. You see Mike Hazen down tight on Colin Doyle. They weren't giving Jim Veltman enough respect on that power play.
Veltman goes 5-hole for his third of the afternoon. A 4-3 Toronto Rock advantage in the Nighthawks. They have to find a way to stem the tide if they're going to stay in this one here at Canada Center. With the Rock, when they get a roll going on the home floor, they can be extremely dangerous. Nighthawks with possession of the ball. Curt Malawsky looks for some help on offense. Shawn Williams on the nice pick and roll scores! Shawn Williams completes that pick and roll and fires it in the goal for Williams, his 11th of the season. Now we're tied at 4.
There you go. Toronto has scored 4 in a row, as you said. And they stem the tide here. Watch this nice pick and roll here. You see the finished product here. Shawn Williams, former Toronto Rock player on the championship team 4 years ago. He could put him in. He's had trouble actually playing here in Toronto since his trade. He comes up with a big one there.
Curt Malawsky with his second assist of the afternoon, and another face-off win for the Nighthawks. They retain possession, and they'll try to regain the lead as we go back and forth here at Canada Center this afternoon. Here's Bomberry. Cory Bomberry feeds it across. There's a quick shot that just goes off an arm. Ted Jenner with the opportunity. Now Shawn Williams, the goal scorer, flips it across to John Grant. Grant goes down low for the first time this afternoon. Feeds it across for Bomberry. Loses the ball, and in transition, here comes the Toronto Rock. It's Steve Cole racing down the floor. Rocks in for a shot. Saved by O'Toole. Doesn't know where the ball is, though. Just flops on it. Makes the save. Flips it back. And Jeremy Hollenbach. Steve Toll, who goes to the bench, and Hollenbach brings it back for the Nighthawks. Rochester has won 5 consecutive games, 6-2 of the season. Behind that red-hot Buffalo Bandit team in the Central Division, Buffalo's had a tremendous year so far in the National Lacrosse League. Grant with a shot off the arm of Watson. In transition, the Rock in a hurry. There's Daryl Gibson alongside Ian Woodward. Gibson, a defender by nature, will stop and wait for his offensive unit and the attack to get on the floor. And they've got it. That's Blaine Manning. He has a full complement. Manning walks in with a shot goal. That's high and wide. An easy ball picked up by Reggie Thorpe. Thorpe turns it away, and in transition, Marshall Abrams for the Nighthawks. To Shawn Williams. Williams even it in 4, feeds it in front, and there's Curt Malawsky with a blast of Bob Watson's there to make the save. Watson robs Malawsky. Long feed goes all the way back, goaltender to goaltender, and Pat O'Toole will play it easily for Rochester. The Nighthawks, Cory Bomberry has been a force.
The Rock's going to get a penalty here, Raj.
Power play will go to Rochester. They have the extra attacker, O'Toole to the bench. Abrams with a pass in front that is snagged by Pat Coyle. Is Coyle the man going to the penalty box?
Go to the box, Patty. Come on.
It will be Patty Coyle, the assistant captain of the Rock, going over. He'll sit down, and let's take a look at the penalty.
On the bottom of your screen here. Okay, that's a high stick. And the Rock is hoping he only gets 2 minutes for that.
They called it slashing, so 2 minutes, I guess, it will be the penalty. Pat Coyle goes off to the box. That'll give another power play to the Rochester Knighthawks. 1 for 2 so far. A single shot by John Grant going in the goal. That'll provide an opportunity. Actually, there's some work being done on Bob Watson's equipment. While Watson gets fixed up, one of the men that'll be watching him offensively is Shawn Williams, and there's a look at his numbers so far.
Yeah, Shawn Williams could definitely put the ball in the net. Was a member of the Rock's first championship team, as you can see. He got traded to Buffalo, and from since.
Scored number 14 on the season moments ago to even it up in 4. And I would be not surprised in the least to see him on the floor, and there he is, trying to add a power play marker to that total if he can.
He leads the team in power play goals with 6, along with Jeremy Holmbeck.
Knighthawks with a man advantage, power play, penalty to Pat Doyle. It's tied up in 4 here at Air Canada Center. Goes to export national across, Bomberry with a box and a goal! Cory Bomberry with that big shot. You talked about it, Brian Shanahan. Rips it right by Bob Watson.
Well, long before they got John Grant on this team, Cory Bomberry used to play the top of the power play, and he was known for that great outside shot. They've just got more weapons now, but he still once in a while comes through with this big shot, and it's just power. Second goal of the game.
Bomberry's 16th of the season, a Six Nations product.
Rock might know how a lot of teams feel playing against them when they get penalty trouble.
Glenn Clark with a big shot, big sneaky shot on Pat O'Toole, the bouncer, and O'Toole corralled it, stopped it, knocked it down, and allowed his team captain, Mike Hazen, to bring the ball up the floor. Hazen turned away by Glenn Clark, drops it off, Tim Sudan in. Sudan from Rochester himself, so he's a homegrown product, flips it out. This is Shawn Williams with the pass, but there is Ted Jenner with the ball. Jenner being harassed by Ian Rubel, possession change, goes over to the Toronto Rock, and they'll take over. Pat Doyle up the floor. Waits for some help, finds it. Rock will work it around, see if they can generate some offense with Blaine Manning. Tries to go back to Aaron Wilson. He's unable to get the ball, moves over to O'Toole, and quickly comes Rochester with a long feed to Curt Malawsky. A quick blast, and there he's watching with the save. It was O'Toole to Malawsky in the save, and the possession goes over to Rochester as Blaine Manning hammered Malawsky to the floor.
Bob Watson really came out to take that shot away from Malawsky because he saw he had no option but to shoot from where he was.
Watson, 13 saves so far today. He and his team trailing by 1. Wilkins with the ball for Rochester in front. Grant for that goal! John Grant makes it number 3 this afternoon. 6-4, the Knighthawks.
And the Rocks definitely having their hands full with John Grant and Cory Bomberry out here. 3 goals already. Watch, there's a nice little screen there on the left of your screen. Watch, Grant comes around that screen, second guy through. This is a nice set play.
26 goals. I would imagine his 4-goal performances of the season, which have been a standard 4 times, will be at least what happens here today. He has been ever deadly with his shot. Knighthawks chase down a loose ball. Tim Sudan gets it back again. So the seesaw battle continues. 3 consecutive goals now for the Knighthawks.
Yeah, Roger, I think the Rock would be happy if he only scores 4 today. 3 already.
Flip pass, misses the open man. Picked it up to Bob Watson. Loose ball goes over to the Toronto Rock, who have to play catch-up again. But that's the way it's been this afternoon. Jim Veltman led the charge. He has 3 for the Rock. On the attack, he retains possession of the ball. 15 on the shot clock. Goes down low to Cole with a shot. And a goal! Make that Todd Richard, not Steve Cole. And Richard's the trigger man to make it 6-5.
The guy they call the Rocket finishes off here. He had been out of the lineup for a few weeks, got back in last week, and he shows a nice scoring touch, and this is why they like him in there. This is what they want him to do. Looked like he had nowhere to go, and he somehow squeezed that in past O'Toole.
On the way to put it between the pads with Pat O'Toole. It's now 6-5. So why not go back and forth here at Air Canada Center? Goal number 5 for Todd Richard. And immediately the Knighthawks. We'll see what they can do with possession. Shawn Williams flipped around. Good defensive work by Glenn Clark to chase him away. Drops it for Grant. John Grant gets a little room. Lets a shot go, and there is the goaltender Bob Watson. Watson with a long feed for Ian Rubel. Knocked down to Malawsky, but Rubel will find the loose ball. That gives possession to the Rock. Seeing if they can find a way to tie this one up. They'll whistle it down. That ball went over and back. Well, we've got it back and forth all day, and the Rochester Knighthawks retain the lead. It's 6-5. Rochester leads on Rogers Sportsnet.
Power Vitamins for Men, proud sponsor of the National National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at fine pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
Your winter weather? More snow with a 100% chance of acceleration. The award-winning Mazda Tribute with available on-demand all-wheel drive. It's what makes winter cool.
The aches and pains of the game, brought to you by Advil. Advil for today's tough pain. Proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League.
I'm not exactly a small person. Never have been. There aren't many things made for someone like me. Not many things at all. The Black & Decker swivel drill is. It works in 5 different positions, so I'm an actor. It's pretty cool for a little guy.
The swivel drill from Black & Decker.
With Rochester Knighthawks forward Curt Malawsky, and Derek, your forwards and your offense has been stellar in this first half, burning a solid Rock defense for 6 goals already.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're going to try to play strong defense tonight and play our transition game to our strengths, and the goals are dropping for us, and we're happy where we are right now.
Thanks, Derek. Good luck the rest of the way. That's another Molson Export bench report. Back up to you, Roger.
All right, Jimmy, indeed. Possession immediately goes the way of the Rochester Knighthawks. Even swing to the floor. Jim Sudan. For Bomberry, and Cory Bomberry has 2 goals. He also has an assist this afternoon. Drops it back. There's a back shot by John Grant, and he and Dan Latisseur take swipes at each other as the Rock in transition bring it up the floor. Latisseur drops it for Pat Coyle. And the Rock will become a little patient here for the rest of their players to get on the attack. There they are, all 3 off the bench, and Steve Toll will try to lead the charge. To Jim Veltman, who has 3. Into the corner for Finneran. Finneran gets to hit the board on offense. Moves to the middle of the floor. A shot, and there's O'Toole with the save. Loose ball, picked off by Colin Doyle. He's whacked by Tim Sedan, but Doyle with possession. Feeds it up. Oh, what a golden pass that was. Bob Richard just misses the goal. Veltman has it for the Rock. 30-second clock. Drops it to Finneran. Finneran with a shot. Sails wide of the post. Andrew Turner knocks it down.
Definitely playing very physical on Doyle.
Opportunity for Ted Jenner on the long pass. Brian, as you were just beginning to talk, there was Jenner in behind the Rock defense, but he was stopped by Bob Watson. Big save by the Toronto netminder. Quickly up the floor, Livingstone. Drops it off. Steve Toll turns in the corner, hacked and whacked by Marshall Abrams. Whistle goes, possession change. It'll be the Knighthawks taking over.
Physical on Colin Doyle, but that's nothing new to him. He's been used to that. The stats he's been putting up this year, he's getting a lot of punishment everywhere he plays.
minutes after the whistle. Take him off his offensive game a little bit. Aaron Wilson to the corner for the Rock. To Colin Doyle, puts it again. A quick pass and a quick shot. But Pat O'Toole says, I'll have none of that. Much to say. Rochester turns back. Stevie Penny, as I said, played with the Montreal Express a year ago. Opportunity for Holland back in front. He turns away. Looks for an open man. Malawsky can't knock it down. Sudan has it. Tim Sudan out of the corner for the Knighthawks. Drops it back. It's Wilkins with the ball. Moves to the middle of the floor. Wilkins makes a nice nifty movie and Rubel knocks him down. And Williams with a good job to keep possession of it. Wilkins has to throw it away as the defense for the Rock just kept pushing Rochester out. Possession turns back to Toronto. Now the fans get it going in quarter number 2. Veltman drops it to the corner. Blaine Manning with a block to the goal.
And O'Toole probably should have had that one. He's been playing in his net, which is great when there's passes made. He just steps out, watch you see. He's going to step out for the shot. And just as he's getting set for that shot, it bounced between his legs. He's been taking away the cross-floor passes from the Rock by playing well in his net. After he got burned by one of the earlier goals where Colin Doyle passed to Steve Cole in the empty net, Pat O'Toole's taking that away, but he's leaving something on the outside shots if he's staying in his net.
Well, you think the game has been similar by nature. You're absolutely correct. Both teams have scored 3 times in both quarters, hence the 6-6 draw. In the last third of quarter number 2. Colin Doyle with a pass that deflects high over the glass. It's getting a little nasty out there. Blaine Manning with a little shot.
This has been a very typical game of the way these guys have played over the years. Back and forth, shifts in momentum. The team never gets up by more than 3 or 4 without the other team coming back.
John Grant, harassed by Daryl Gibson. Gibson has been shadowing Grant much of quarter number 2. Why not? He's been so dangerous. Malawsky to the corner and Williams back to Grant in front. Back pass, back shot. But Daryl Gibson knocked it away. Grant again is nailed to the floor, and that allows Bob Watson to make the save and hold on. John Grant's had his moments, but he's been harassed a bit in quarter number 2. 6-6 tie here at Air Canada Center. Crowd upwards of 18,000 here this afternoon to see their Rock. See if they can be as dominant as usual against this Rochester team. Sandy Chapman on a rebound with a chance to stuff it in. He's turned aside by Pat O'Toole. Good work offensively by the Rock. Trying to get possession, but they can't, and the whistle goes. Bob Watson's been big as far as the Toronto Rock is concerned. Goes Pat O'Toole for Rochester. We're tied at 6.
Why do we do what we do? Why do we look like we do? Why do we order the large wings when a medium would do? Why do we sacrifice sleep for a good time? Why do we do it? Because we can. The Coors Light Brewing Company wishes you a most excellent weekend. Coors Light, the silver bullet.
Become the featured presentation at an invitation-only premiere by controlling who sees your resume and who doesn't, leaving just you, your resume, and the person who's hiring.
Log on to www.winatruck.ca for your chance to win a Mazda B-Series truck. Contest details, rules, and regulations available at www.winatruck.ca. Must be 19 years of age to enter. Void where prohibited.
The second quarter is brought to you by Black & Decker. Black & Decker does it better. And by New York Fries, where friends don't let friends eat factory fries. Let's go to our friend on the floor. Jimmy?
Thank you very much, Roger. With Anthony Cosmo, Toronto Rock goalie. You faced John Grant before. What is it about it that makes him just so lethal out there?
Just an amazing lacrosse player. His stick skills are just out of this world, you know. He can go anywhere, backhand, reverse backhand, drop the ball in your legs, anywhere you can go, and that's, you know, makes him good.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Another Molson Export Bench Report. Back up to Shanny and Roger.
All right, Jimmy, I'm sure Anthony Cosmo would love to play, but maybe not against John Grant too much. 6-6, we're all even. Quarter number 2, Bomberry Been an offensive force with a pair of goals. Now Tim Sudan moves around Lattiseau to John Grant. Grant and Daryl Gibson having their own private war on the floor. I think that's a video you can get, right? War on the floor?
War on the floor.
Absolutely. Catch up with the best of lacrosse. Across the country, retail stores, there's Steve Cole. Moving up the floor. Looks for a chance to get a shot away. A sneaky one. Tries to use his screen. Ball loose to Colin Doyle. Back in front to Cole. Cole has it knocked away, and here's a breakout for the Knighthawks. Penny with a quick flash, sails wide. Big loose ball goes right onto the stick of Andrew Turner, and Turner waits for some help. Here's Shawn Williams. Williams moves around Rubel with a shot, and there's Bob Watson turning it aside. Still tied at 6. Andrew Turner waits. They have a new 30-second clock, and Rochester Knighthawks will use that. Shawn Williams has Cory Bomberry. Wilkins with a blast right on. Easy save for Bob Watson. He'll handle those all day long and all night as well. Looks for some help. Finds Glenn Clark, and in transition it will be the Rock coming away. Just over 3 minutes remaining in quarter number 2 and a 6-6 tie. And they give away. Allows Wilkins to take over. Rochester turns it back up the floor. There you go on the attack. It's Curt Malawsky. Flipping it across the floor for John Grant. Hollenbeck now to the middle. Shawn Williams with a shot that just sailed wide of the post, right back to Williams. 5 seconds of the clock as Grant fires one. A good shoulder save by Bob Watson. And Jim Veltman will snap it up. The king of loose balls in this National Lacrosse League, Veltman. Helps get it up the floor. Rock have position. Blaine Manning waits for some help. Flips it across. Finneran with a shot. Pat O'Toole with a save. Whistle down. Are we going to have a penalty? It looks like we'll have an interference penalty against the Rochester Knighthawks. That will give a power play back to the Toronto Rock. Into the penalty box goes Steve Penny. See if we can find that interference.
Watch the top of your screen. I think it's just, there you go. Steve Penny took down Aaron Wilson. And Rochester, part of their plan of this game, they want to play 5-on-5 lacrosse, even though I'm sure they'd be happy to go on the power play. Their power play's been good, but they want to keep out of this kind of game trading power play goals.
It can be deadly against the team operating at 63%. Colin Doyle with a shot, saved by Pat O'Toole. Jim Veltman, loose ball. Doyle, open man, it's Manning. He scores!
And this is probably why they don't want to play power play lacrosse. Toronto's power play now 3 for 4, 75% today. There you see Blaine Manning, who leads everybody in the league on power play goals. The key there, though, is Jim Veltman scooping up that loose ball. And look at the room that Manning gets. He scores 13th and league-leading power play goal.
He has the last 22 on the season. That offense is coming in for the first time this afternoon. The Toronto Rock have assumed the lead. They have a 7-6 advantage. Bomberry turns back. Oh, okay. I said corrected. Shanny with his numbers. It's the second lead. All right. 4-3 and 1.
Hey, I wasn't going to say anything wrong.
Oh, yes, you did. Shanahan's are such nice guys. For the Toronto Rock, they have the lead indeed at 7-6. Steve Cole picking up the floor to Kevin Finneran. Finneran puts it across to Blaine Manning, and he gets the shot going. Tom Richard was nailed with that shot, and Richard goes down to the floor. He is in obvious pain, and he got it in the midsection, maybe the ribs.
And that hurts. I mean, that hurts when a goaltender takes a hard one there with all the equipment on. There's not a lot of padding in that area, Roger. Most of the protective padding is around the sides and the back. Whoa. Now, the players all wear kidney pads, but as I said, it protects more of the sides and the back. If he got that more in the front, the way he's holding himself there, it looks like he'll be all right, I hope, but he'll be in pain for a little while.
Now, if you've played lacrosse before, you know how hard a lacrosse ball is. But if you haven't played and you're joining us this afternoon, Shanny, just what would that feel like?
A good hard punch to the stomach. A guy like Mike Tyson.
Bob Richard is on the floor. We'll get some attention, and we'll have lots of attention coming up immediately following lacrosse. Hockey Central, Darren Dreger and the gang set to go one-on-one with Steve Yzerman, who's almost ready to return to the lineup for the Detroit Red Wings. Get the lowdown of the NHL with Hockey Central immediately following National Lacrosse. Oh, and I just found out Darren Dreger's voice has gone. So Darren Millard steps up to the plate.
The other Darren. Blaine Manning has been at a hot game. His teammate Todd Richard knows he can shoot. Look at last year, he had 71 points, 50 assists he got in there. 50 points so far this season, rookie of the year. And you know the funny thing about this guy? He's always a slow starter. He got off to a slow start last year. This year he did the same thing, but he's been hot. Here you're going to see Manning. This is one of those games. The 13-point game. Everything he shot and every pass he made seemed to lead to a goal that game. And last year, he could hardly score on a power play. All his goals were 5-on-5. This year, every power play shot he takes seems to go in. Gavin Prout was a highly rated rookie last year for New York, and Manning beat him out for Rookie of the Year last year. Well deserved.
Certainly living up to the expectations the Rock had for him when he came over from the Calgary Roughnecks.
Yeah, he was basically the Caleb Coasdeal.
He was the Caleb Coasdeal indeed. Todd Richard gets up off the floor and gingerly moves over to the Rock box. Speaking of Gavin Prout, he and the New York Saints will be making a road trip. They'll be in Vancouver. Next Friday night, there are the times in your region. The Ravens trying to get back on the beam in a bit of a slump. Paul Del Monte here this afternoon at the ACC. Taking on watching proceedings. For the Ravens, here's Manning with an opportunity. Bumped and harassed by Reggie Thorpe. Feeds it in front. Ball's knocked away. Colin Doyle gets absolutely turfed by Andrew Turner. And Blaine Manning's not happy. He goes after Turner. Steve Penny has him wrapped up. But Doyle's a tough character. He's got lots of attention this afternoon.
I'll tell you, not only has Doyle put up the numbers this year, he's drawn some penalties. Now, I didn't think this was that bad.
Got it up high.
I think Colin embellished because he was actually bent down to pick up that ball. And Andrew Turner, I can understand why he's angry there. I think Colin added a little bit to that hit. It's not really a high stick when you're bent over like that.
Another power play. They're 3 for 4 on 5 shots. A chance for the first time to go up by 2 goals this afternoon.
Yeah, I won't argue with you there.
Just to get a fact right once in a while. Colin Doyle with possession, power play for the Rock. 3 for 4, 75% of the afternoon. The leading power play, and they'll take their time. Less than a minute to go in the second quarter. It's Doyle with a shot. Oh, a sneaky one. He scores.
Now, once again, very efficient on the power play. Didn't take them long. Now, I don't know. Colin Doyle saw there was a nice screen developing here. Watch Jim Veltman. He's going to step in. Watch Veltman. I don't know if this is a planned play or not. If Jim Veltman was trying to make room for Colin Doyle to come around him, or if he was just setting up a screen. Either way, Doyle saw he had a bit of a room, and he used that screen to get his 27th goal of the season.
That's why you're goal scoring win. Being sneaky like that. Great shot, great goal. The Rock are on a 4-0 run, and as a result, they have an 8-6 lead here in quarter number 2, dying second. At Air Canada Center in Toronto. Glad you'll be with us this afternoon. Across the country, as we take in the Toronto Rock's run. They're trying to make it 4 National Lacrosse League championships over the last 4 years. We'll see if they can do that as the season progresses along. John Grant would like to alter that if he can, but he loses the ball. In transition, it's Daryl Gibson. He'll go end-to-end. Can he score? No, he cannot. As Pat O'Toole.
That's a huge save for Rochester. Gives them the ball back. 12 seconds to go. They're going to call a timeout, and they will pull Pat O'Toole. So rather than the Rock going up by 3 goals, 9-6, if they'd scored there, they have a chance to pull their goal in, bring it within a goal again.
Here's a look at the breakaway. Daryl Gibson going end-to-end. Had an opportunity and tried to beat Pat O'Toole.
He's got some good speed. Gibson scored 2 goals in the championship game against Albany last year. He can score some big goals as well as playing big defense.
Just a few seconds left in the second quarter, and while we're at that, the second quarter coming your way on Rogers Sports Net was brought to you by Black & Decker. Black & Decker does it better. And as well, it was brought to you by New York Fries, where friends don't let friends eat factory fries. attacker on the floor as Pat O'Toole's taking a brief sabbatical.
Now, Roger, this should be interesting. 3 years ago in the championship game with about 20 seconds to go, they pulled their goalie, called a timeout, and everyone in the building knew that ball was going to John Grant. He got triple teamed and still scored. So you know they're going to try to get it to him. If I'm the Rock, I'm all over him. Just don't let this guy get the ball.
You got to go end-to-end in 12 seconds. Malawsky has the ball. Who's the outlet pass going to?
Who else?
How about John Grant? Colin back to Sudan. Grant trails the play, trying to sneak into the back. Let the shot go and Watson with the save. As time runs on the clock, Bob Watson goes to his knees, makes the save on John Grant. The Rock have enjoyed a 4-0 run in quarter number 2, and as a result, they've assumed the lead by 2 in a very entertaining first half of play, Brian.
Yes, definitely. Back and forth, momentum swings, and it's not over. We're going to see a few more runs by both teams, I'm sure.
Both teams head to the dressing room. Let's, first of all, before we do that and to start our intermission, let's go downstairs to Jim Lang. Jim?
Thank you very much, Roger. Here with Paul Day, the head coach of the Rochester Knighthawks, and the Rock with an 8-6 lead. The big difference so far has been their power play.
Yeah, well, you know, they have the best power play in the league, and we knew that coming in, and you know, we knew we had to stare the box, but I think 5-on-5 we carried the play so well so far, and you know, we're in a pretty good position right now.
You know, it's interesting, Paul. Not a lot of people maybe know about how good your team is. You've been kind of lying under the radar. You're on national TV today, and I think they're getting a good look at your defense and your depth.
Well, yeah, we have, you know, a pretty good team. All these kids, you know, grew up in Canada playing hockey, you know, we want to play in the big leagues. And, you know, this is as good as it gets, so we're pretty happy to be here today.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back up to you, Roger.
All right, Jim, coming up next is the Mazda Tribute to the Half on Molson Export National Lacrosse, live on Rogers Sportsnet.
Vitamins for Men, proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at fine pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
She is great. She's a great lady. In fact, I just lent her my Black & Decker zip saw. She's become pretty attached to it. You know, you cut these beautiful patterns in everything from wood to metal. I don't miss it.
The zip saw from Black & Decker.
Tell your own fortune. Post your resume and see what tomorrow holds. Even if you already have a job, it's free, easy, and confidential. You control who sees your resume and who doesn't. So log on and leave nothing to chance.
Log on to www.winatruck.ca for your chance to win a Mazda B-Series truck. Contest details, rules, and regulations available at www.winatruck.ca. Must be 19 years of age to enter, void where prohibited.
Four consecutive goals, and they lead the Rochester Knighthawks by a count of 8-6. Welcome to the Mazda Tribute to the Half, brought to you by the Mazda Tribute, the SUV with the soul of a sports car. Well, since coming to the National Lacrosse League, John Grant Jr. has showed lots of soul. In fact, he's been one of the league's outstanding players since evolving from the University of Delaware. He's a dynamic performer and and has been absolutely that way in the first half of this afternoon's game. In fact, he has scored 3 times. Let's take a look at some of the markers. The big blast opened the scoring in quarter number 1. There's a replay of that particular goal. He just keeps firing, has one of the most deadly shots in all of the National Lacrosse League. This goal here is third, made it 6-4 in the afternoon contest. John Grant Jr., some of the details about his performances. Oh, there's a look at him. He's from Peterborough, resides there as well. Lacrosse is his life. At 6'2", 220 pounds, John Grant Jr. certainly been quite a performer. As we look at our hotjobs.ca player profile, brought to you by hotjobs.ca, a Yahoo service. Log on today and take control of your destiny. And speaking of John Grant Jr., he's standing by with our Jim Lang.
Thank you, Roger. With John Grant Jr. the Rochester Knighthawks, a Rock with 86 lead. He had 3 goals, a typical John Grant Jr. first half, but definitely the defense very physical and very intense out there for you to fight through.
Hey, it's Toronto. You look at 2 things: a boisterous crowd and big tough guys on D. But I like to thrive on that. I like playing with the big boys, and I think our team's playing well right now.
Well, and definitely with guys like Cory Bomberry and Shawn Williams and some of the studs you have up front, there's no question, John, you have a lot of offensive firepower and veteran leadership to get it done in the second half.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we started with this new lineup last year, and the chemistry took a little bit. I think it's starting to roll now. We just have to bury a few more.
Now, your dad, maybe people will not know John Grant Sr. is a lacrosse legend in Canada. What kind of advice is your dad giving when he watches you play? What do you hear from him?
Well, I've been getting advice from him since I was a little kid. He coached me all the way up, and we talk on the phone throughout the week, and if he sees anything on TV, or doesn't get to see a lot of games through the internet, but he tries to give me little tips here and there.
You know, a lot of people who watch you in action marvel at your stick skills, the way you're able to move it around. How much of that is just some genetics from your dad, God-given talent? How much is that just a byproduct of years of hard work and practice?
I didn't really see it as hard work. When I grew up, I had my stick in my hand as soon as the snow thawed, until the snow came back. That's all I really did growing up, and I guess it's kind of paid off.
John Grant Jr., the Rochester Knighthawks, thank you very much. We come back. The halftime continues. The Rock lead the Knighthawks 8-6. Come back more. Molson Export National Lacrosse and Rogers Sportsnet.
Power Vitamins for Men, proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at fine pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
The aches and pains of the game, brought to you by Advil. Advil for today's tough pain. Proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League.
Hey guys, meet the new guy.
Hi, I'm Bob Holtkamp.
Hey, help yourself to some snacks. Speaking of which, you know what would taste good about now?
Yeah, a big, hot and juicy cheeseburger.
With everything. I can almost taste it.
Knowing me, if there were a place to get a hamburger that good this late, I'd not only drive, I'd buy.
Really?
Wendy's classic hamburgers are made fresh, so they're always hot and juicy, so you can eat great even late.
You must be the new guy.
Yeah, thanks.
Wendy's, it's better here.
Tell your own fortune. Post your resume and see what tomorrow holds. Even if you already have a job, it's free, easy, and confidential. You control who sees your resume and who doesn't. So log on and leave nothing to chance.
Your winter weather, more snow with a 100% chance of acceleration. The award-winning Mazda Tribute with available on-demand all-wheel drive. It's what makes winter cool.
A world leader in photo imaging products now brings you an easier way to take and print beautiful photos. Simply plug a Canon PowerShot digital camera directly into a Canon photo printer and print. It's that easy.
Where can I find out about getting a job?
Where can I search for health information?
halftime. Well, it certainly was a seesaw battle, Brian Shanahan, in that opening half of play. The Rock came back with a big second quarter, and we saw 3 goals by John Grant Jr., but Jim Veltman also had a huge time of it for the Rock.
Well, exactly. Don't forget Jim Veltman. He's got 7 points out of 8 goals. And this is what starts it for the Rock. They're losing 3-0 when he scores here to make it 3-2 and an outside shot. Here he comes in on the power play. This ties it up, or this makes it 3-2. And then this one here, another power play gives the Rock the lead.
Well, while Veltman's been a force, and so is Grant, you can't forget about Cory Bomberry. He's been big too.
Cory Bomberry, look at the moves he has here. The big outside shot. And then later on, we're going to see on the power play again. This one actually gives them the 5-4 lead, Cory Bomberry.
One thing that's happened in this game, it's been evident that the Rochester Knighthawks can't take any more penalties. The Rock have been absolutely fantastic with the power play.
And their power play, it's no surprise, it's been great all year. 4 for 5 so far, that's awesome. They got to stay on the penalty box.
And the Rock have exploded in the second quarter as a result. They're enjoying a 8-6 lead at halftime here at Air Canada Centre in Toronto. The second half is coming your way in a moment.
Power Vitamins for Men, proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at Prime Pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
Presentation at an invitation-only premiere by controlling who sees your resume and who doesn't, leaving just you, your resume, and the person who hired you.
All right, y'all know what to do. Let's get it on. Ever see a black diamond?
I want my stones, Mr. Fate.
You're not going to be able to do that.
The stones are not what you think they are.
The no-gun policy no longer affects. We'll break out the heat.
Here's what you hearing, listen. This is what you hearing, listen. This is what you hearing, listen. Let's go give it to you. I got such a good heart that I'm your own. Let's go deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door and scream. It's a non-stop pop out and stainless steel. Let's go give it to you. He gon' give it to you. Let's go give it to you. He gon' give it to you. I'm gonna rock, then we gonna roll. Let it rock, don't let it go. He gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you.
The Mazda Tribute to the Half was brought to you by the Mazda Tribute, the SUV with a soul of a sports car. Time now for the halftime statistics brought to you by the War on the Floor in stores today, and there's the story of the halftime.
Yeah, you can see there's power play. That's a big difference. The Rock is 4 for 5. It says Rochester's won 6 face-off to Rock's 3. I think it's much worse than that from the Rock's point of view.
Well, let's go back to the first half for the Cannon Power Shot of the half. The Power Shot of the half is brought to you by Canon, the leaders in digital photography. Astonish yourself. Watch Jim Veltman deliver that.
Watch the spin here, Roger. And he fools Pat O'Toole, and that was to open the scoring for the Toronto Rock. Made it 3-1 at the time.
Veltman with a 7-point day. 3 goals for assist and action is underway in quarter number 3. The worst quarter the Toronto Rock have, by the way. They're scored 32-31 this season in quarter number 3. Good save by Bob Watson early on as the Knighthawks leading by 2. Down 2, they look to come back, but first of all, they'll watch Colin Doyle and his Toronto Rock. Doyle with a shot save, rebound, Pat O'Toole. Gets some help defensively by Reggie Thorpe, as O'Toole did not know where the ball was, but Thorpe took his man out of the play, and as a result, the Knighthawks have had opportunities to move the ball off the floor, and Andrew Turner, who's been physical, gets a little pick from Shawn Williams and has some room. On offense, the Knighthawks try to get it going. Tim Sudan moves away from Pat Coyle. Sudan in front to Hollenbeck. Can't get a shot away. Now Malawsky.
think he tied him up a bit too much. He got called on the interference there.
Just reached his arm over and impeded the progress of Steve Penny. Allows the Knighthawks to have a 30-second clock, and they'll take it down low with Shawn Williams, the former Toronto Rock player. Williams under the corner. Tries to move to the middle. Grant gives him a pick. John Grant can't find the pass. Solid defensive work by Pat Coyle. Coyle knocks the ball away. Ladouceur's in there to cause some havoc. And Patrick Merrill will turn it back to the Toronto Rock. Oh, he takes a whack in the face with a stick of John Grant, but Merrill doesn't stop. He keeps going. Brings the ball up to mid-floor. Transition, Steve Toll takes over. Toll scored a pretty one earlier this afternoon. Finneran to the corner and Colin Doyle. Doyle with 1 goal has been rather quiet for the second leading scorer in the league. Pass across to Kevin Finneran. Unable to get a shot. 5 on the shot clock. Flicks it back to Blaine Manning. Manning is harassed, knocked down. And Pat O'Toole gets the pass and allows the breakout to mid-floor for the Rochester Knighthawks. Jenner drops it for Malawsky. Still a 2-goal lead for Toronto. No scoring early on. The ball comes loose, taken away by the Rock. And Steve Toll has possession. Nice steal by Toll.
That was a really nice pick-off by Toll, but the Rock would have been in trouble if he didn't intercept that pass.
So Toll heads off, and that allows Colin Doyle the opportunity to turn it back. Moves in on Reggie Thorpe. Doyle feeds it across. There's a shot, and an opportunity for Aaron Wilson. Nice save by O'Toole. Drop back an opportunity that sails high and wide by the Rock. Good chance. They float that wide of the bar. They jostle for the ball in the corner. Abrams turns it away and just drops it to his netminder. So far, no offense. 3 minutes has elapsed. In quarter number 3, Mike Hazen leaves it for John Grant. The big trigger man has 3 goals.
They got called on the 10-second violation. Rochester didn't get it over half within 10 seconds. A little bit of pressure can sometimes do that.
That means the Rock will take it over. Blaine Manning and Steve Toll bring it up the floor. It's a little slow here in the early going of quarter number 3. Perhaps the Rock like it that way with that 2-goal lead. Manning turns away from the defender, feeds it across to the middle. Loose ball stolen. Curt Malawsky going one-on-one on Toll, and a nice defensive play. That was Jenner being absolutely had the ball stolen by Steve Toll. Colin Doyle with a shot, a bounce shot that sails high and wide. Jenner with a big chance. That was a great defensive play that was by Toll just seconds ago.
Beautiful stick check by Steve Toll.
The ball's turned over. The Knighthawks take it. Up the floor, it's Malawsky trying to get something going on offense. Knighthawks have been a long time since scoring a goal. It's been way back in the second quarter. In fact, it's been a 4-0 run for the Toronto Rock. Shawn Williams with the ball.
These left shooters on Rochester are throwing some nice picks. Williams, Grant, and Malawsky.
They'd be more in desperation than anything else, Shannon, because they have not been able to penetrate the offensive zone for almost a quarter of play. For a long time since they've scored. Hollenbach moves away from Ladouceur, flips it to the corner. Here's an opportunity in front. Sudan with a shot. Nice save by Bob Watson as he was falling, but found a way to keep it out. New 30-second clock, though, for the Knighthawks. They've had lots of possession here in this quarter, but no results.
Yeah, they haven't scored since John Grant scored at 4:16 of the second quarter. But 2 goals is nothing for these guys.
Williams with a shot. Another fine save by Bob Watson. A sneaky shot by Williams. But how about that glove by Watson? Whipping out there to keep the ball out of the net. Long pass for Colin Doyle. Sally's wide of him. Aaron Wilson has it knocked away. They'll whistle it down on the floor. Well, there was a little bit of an injury in that first half. Todd Richard was hurt. Let's have an update from our man Jim Lang.
Roger, yes, Todd Richard is now in hospital being x-rayed on his ribs. They suspect it's cracked ribs, a number of them. So as a precaution, he's being x-rayed. Back up to you, Roger.
Ouch. Ouch. Ribs. Colin Doyle with a chance and cut off the feed. Todd Richard's all right, resting in hospital. Opportunity again for the Rock. They can't find the loose ball. Colin Doyle with a good effort to steal it away from Reggie Thorpe. He leaves it for the captain, Jim Veltman. 7 points in the game. The Finneran a shot. That stays out of the the goal. Finneran on the feed from Veltman. With a blast and the save. The Rock leading by 2 in quarter number 3. Both and Export National Lacrosse on Rogers Sportsnet.
Power Vitamins for Men, proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at fine pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
Log on to www.winatruck.ca for your chance to win a Mazda B-Series truck. Contest details, rules, and regulations available at www.winatruck.ca. Must be 19 years of age to enter, void where prohibited.
There's a new bear in the woods. The 2003 Kodiak 450 and Kodiak 400. Rugged, dependable, unrelenting powerhouses. The Grizzly 660, still taming the rugged Canadian wilderness. The Raptor 660R, simply the most advanced sport ATV in history. Check out the 2003 lineup of ATVs at your Yamaha dealer. Yamaha, reliability, second to none. Driving down that road again, sure could use a friend to lend a helping hand. I wanna be somebody, so I depend on you. Please help me be somebody. I wanna be somebody.
Third quarter is brought to you by Mazda and the award-winning Protege and Protege 5. And by hotjobs.ca, a Yahoo service. Log on today and take control of your destiny. Well, that lethal Toronto Rock power play will have another opportunity thanks to this.
Watch the bottom left of your screen, Turner. I think they called it a cross-check. It looked more like a slash.
I look a little weak.
Cross-checking is a penalty I never understand because we always teach the kids you should cross-check in lacrosse, but by the definition here, cross-check is called at the discretion of a referee is imposed on a player who uses excessive physical force during the check.
That's not bad. 4 goals on 6 shots, 4 for 5. That is excellent. Wow, what a power play the Rock have had this season. They move in for a shot. Veltman trying to get number 4 in the game. The save by O'Toole. A quick break. Schiller walks right in and lets the blast go.
Now Schiller, he's the one that Coach Paul Day told us he feels he's as fast as Steve Toller. He'd at least give him a run for his money. He's got 7 goals playing defense only, and this is the first we've really seen of him. The shooting didn't look quite as accurate there. That might have been just a slip of a shot, but he's got some speed, so watch him on the short man.
Rochester trying to generate offense well over a quarter now since they've scored. Toll in front to Colin Doyle, and a sneaky little blast sails high and wide. In transition, Rochester comes back on the penalty kill. Mike Hazen. Got John Grant. Grant killing the penalty. We'll see if he can get a chance offensively. Glenn Clark is all over him, whacking him and hacking him. Malawsky. Flips it off. Now John Grant with possession. Grant with 5 seconds left in the shot clock. Sails one high and wide of the bar. Loose ball. Glenn Clark takes over. Less than 40 to go on the Rock power play. This has probably been their most anemic of all their advantages so far this afternoon. Number 6 on the afternoon and half a minute to go in it.
And this is an important kill for Rochester, obviously.
It's Colin Doyle looking for a goal. Flips it back. Finneran shot, scores!
And that's the tough thing of a power play. When a power play is hot, you're right, they were looking anemic on that power play, but still they get one more chance. Finneran has been fairly quiet tonight. A couple assists coming into this half shows that he's got a great outside shot. That's why he's the 9th leading scorer in the league.
That just shows you the offensive depth of the Rock. And you've got a guy that scored 19 goals this season with the abilities of Kevin Finneran. Scores a key power play goal. They've scored 5 in 6 opportunities. And the hill gets a little steeper for the Rochester Knighthawks. They trail it by 3, 9-6. Possession will go back to Rochester. They've really got to find a way to make something positive happen.
Well, at one point in this game, Toronto scored 4 straight, and I think Rochester came back to score 3 straight, so we've been having good swings. The Rock is now on a 5-goal streak.
Pat Coyle tries to make it 6, but loses possession of the ball. Penny can't knock it down. Tim Sudan takes over. And Sudan in a hurry. Up to Malawsky. Rochester brings it back. We played 7.5 of the third quarter. That much left to go in this third stanza. John Grant moves to the middle of the floor. Hacked by Glenn Clark. Grant's had lots of attention. His backhand shot sails wide of the post. Daryl Gibson had some trouble corralling that loose ball. Finally does, but we'll have another infraction.
It looks like Toronto's going to the penalty box in this one. Not sure.
Well, Glenn Clark. Yeah, Glenn Clark is slowly making his way. It was a holding call against John Grant. They've had to hog tie him since basically midway through the second quarter. Now it's been a smart. It kept him off the board, but this time Glenn Clark got a little bit too much of him. Let's watch.
Watch the top of your screen. There's Glenn Clark on Grant. You saw the free hand there for a second. Grabbed on the sweater. Grant's back.
Tightly called contest, and certainly here's a chance for Bomberry. A blast, and there's Bob Watson. He's been a big factor in this third quarter. Watson standing tall in the goal, and he's been a big reason as well why the Rochester Knighthawks have not been able to get one by him. And now what's become 19 minutes of playing time. Nice feed, picked off by Abrams.
You got to watch the Rochester power play as well. They've been 50% this year, 50% today, 2 for 4. 4th best in the league, and with these shooters out here, you can't be going to the penalty box. You get them right back in the game.
Williams drops it for Grant, now Malawsky. Power play for Rochester. Grant tries to get a shot away, flips it to the corner. Grant, opportunity. Sails it right on, and Watson with the save. And here's an outlet to Steve Toll. Toll will beat everyone, I think. No, off the bench comes defensively. A good play by number 26, Andrew Turner. That didn't allow a shot for Steve Toll. It does allow the Knighthawks to have possession in the offensive zone. Holland back to Cory Bomberry. Bomberry has 2. Bomberry flips it across. Malawsky knocks it down. Can he get it across to John Grant? Malawsky out of the corner across. Williams with a quick shot. And there's Bob Watson closing the door.
Now you got to really give Cory Bomberry credit for taking away that breakaway from Steve Toll that last time. It was Andrew Turner who caught him, but it was Cory Bomberry who got to the bench fast enough so that Turner could get out there. Because usually when Toll's gone like that, he's home free.
And he had to slow it right down with that big speed. Possession to Toronto. Kevin Finneran, the last goal scorer, his 19th of the season, giving him a 3-goal lead, and Finneran's shot goes wide of the post. Blaine Manning will retain possession. He lets a shot go. It's blocked, and the ball comes over to the Knighthawks. Dying seconds of their power play, and the penalty to Glenn Clark. There you see the time remaining on it. Clark's poised to get out of the box. And he does as John Grant flips it over. Quick passing. Shawn Williams with a chance. Oh, and Bob Watson. Absolutely superb in the crease. Slides across to keep it out.
That's Bob Watson at his best, in close. Stones Shawn Williams there.
Watson at 10.27 goals against coming into this game. 2nd in the league behind Pat O'Toole. And he may be ready to assume the number 1 position after this afternoon's game if it continues like this. Colin Doyle. 2nd leading scorer in the league. Flips it across. Andy Chapman can't get a good shot away as Pat O'Toole shows his stuff as he moves across to make the save. It's become a tight one here in quarter number 3. Bob Watson's been a star. The Rock lead it by 3.
Power Vitamins for Men, proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at fine pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
I'm not exactly a small person. Never have been. There aren't many things made for someone like me. Not many things at all. The Black & Decker swivel drill is. It works in 5 different positions, so I don't have to. It's pretty cool for a little guy.
The swivel drill from Black & Decker.
Hey guys, meet the new guy.
Hi, I'm Bob Holtkamp.
Hey, help yourself to some snacks. Speaking of which, you know what would taste good about now?
Yeah, a big, hot and juicy cheeseburger.
With everything.
I can almost taste it.
Telling me, if there were a place to get a hamburger that good this late, I'd not only drive, I'd buy.
Really?
Wendy's classic hamburgers are made fresh, so they're always hot and juicy, so you can eat great even late.
You must be the new guy.
Toronto Rock defender, Daryl Gibson. Daryl, after a quick start for Rochester, you and the rest of the defense are dialed in and you put the clamp down on them.
Yeah, we've really settled down to our game. The whole point of this team is we got to stay off ball. We'll let them score what they can on ball, but we trust each other, and we're playing really good defense right now.
Thanks, Daryl. And it's a quick update. Tim Squire is a couple weeks away from coming back to action after battling the flesh-eating disease. Another Molson Export bench report. Back up to you, Roger.
Jimmy, that's a good point with Daryl Gibson. You know, it's been over 20 minutes of lacrosse since the Rochester Knighthawks have been able to sneak one by Bob Watson. And I don't know if they've reached the desperation point yet, but if they're going to make a game of this here in Toronto, they need one.
Although I'll tell you from Toronto's point of view, and I've been there, there is no comfort level when you're out there playing a team like this with 3 goals lead.
Tim Sedan drops it to Bomberry. Bomberry harassed. Great defensive work by Ian Rubel and Pat Coyle as they double-team Bomberry.
Pat Coyle is so good at judging when he can come over to help, because he left John Grant to come over, but I think he knew how much time was left in the shot clock. He knew it was a good risk to take.
Rock with possession and the 3-goal lead. Wilson drops it to Jim Veltman. Veltman with a 7-point game. A quick shot saved by O'Toole. He'll knock it down and hold possession. Andrew Turner gets the long outlet feed. He's joined by Malawsky, trailing and playing. Malawsky shoots! It sails high and wide of the post. The ball will go over and back. That means possession goes to the Toronto Rock. How about next week's battle for the Rock here on home floor against the Calgary Roughnecks? Number 1 and number 2 in the Northern Division.
What a turnaround that team has had since getting Tracy Kleski. They have not lost a game with him in the lineup.
Extra man on the floor. Bob Watson goes to the goal. Rock trying to generate another goal. Here's a chance for Doyle. He feeds it across. Blaine Manning can't get a shot. Watson comes right back onto the floor again. They have their opportunity. It went awry.
That was a Rock patented sneak the goalie out play. They run that quite successfully. They haven't seen it in a while, actually.
Chris Schiller drops it off for Malawsky. He's looking for that one chance. They got it, but they didn't have much of an opportunity. Watson climbed back in the goal in a hurry. Hauling back. To Wilkins. Wilkins harassed by Dan Leather-Stewart. Feed across to Malawsky. Pat Coyle's all over top of him. It's whistled down. Possession goes over to the Rock. Very little offensive creativity has been allowed by the Rock for the Knighthawks. They haven't moved the ball well because they haven't been allowed to. It's that simple.
I mean, when you play a game like a team like Rochester, you have to play basically mistake-free defense, or they'll kill you. With the talent that Rochester has offensively, guys like John Grant, Shawn Williams, sometimes you can play excellent defense and you're still going to get burned. You know, sometimes you just got to say, well, that was a good goal.
Behind the play, the whistle goes down as Sandy Chapman's called on an illegal pick. That allows the ball to go over to the Knighthawks, still looking for their first goal of quarter number 3. Andrew Turner seizes the moment, feeds it across, and Sudan can't find the ball. Ian Rubel, playing his first game in 4 months since his hand injury, knocks his man down. Possession will stay with the Knighthawks. Rubel is guilty, and he has a little chat with Tim Sudan. Chat with lacrosse sticks. Shawn Williams moves to the middle away from Glenn Clark. Williams with a shot that sails wide of the bar. Big bounce comes back to Toll in a good race. With Malawsky, Toll walks in, shoots. And there's Pat O'Toole with a nice save.
Oh, that was a great save by Pat O'Toole. He just stuck with Toll. I was shocked. Toll put on that nice move, came across. And O'Toole just stuck with him.
Shawn Williams with the ball for the Knighthawks. They go end-to-end, final 2 minutes of the third quarter. A blast that bounces high will go over the glass, and that allows the Rock with time to move the ball up there to the point in time where they'll try to use as many seconds on their 30-second shot clock as they can. They get a goal, great. If they don't, well, they cut down the margin as far as the Knighthawks are concerned. Blaine Manning has an open lane. Walks to the goal, and there's a save by O'Toole. Mike Hazen. Bring back the transition for the Knighthawks. Up the floor. Jenner. To John Grant. Grant with 3 goals, but has been deathly silent since 4:16 of the second quarter.
Oh, that was a nice check by Pat Coyle. John Grant is looking a little bit frustrated here right now.
More solid defense.
deep play. The Rock was slow to get to the bench, lazy on that play, and Jenner gets too much room. This is a 2-on-1, even though Steve Toole can come back to catch Jenner. He's got to stay in the middle to take away the 2-on-1, and Jenner drills the shot to the top corner.
So the Knighthawks went from 4:16 in the second quarter to 14:04 of the third quarter between goals, but now they have some momentum back again. They trail it by 2. It's been a quiet third quarter, only a goal apiece.
A big goal for Rochester. Those are the kind that coaches hate when they're scored against, because those kind of goals are very preventable.
See what it does to ignite their offense. If it does at all, Aaron Wilson. Moving on, John Grant. Grant playing some defense, reaches across. Wilson has the ball knocked away. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Good defense this time by the Rochester Knighthawks. And how about John Grant showing his versatility in the defensive zone?
Well, John Grant is a fantastic stick checker.
Big, strong, talented man. Cuts to the middle, gets some open floor. Can't get a shot away. Less than 10 seconds to go. Quarter number 3, Malawsky looking for Bomberry. No room at all. Coyle presses Bomberry. Bomberry can't get a shot away. The ball's not free. And the Rock do a great job defensively of killing off the time. In quarter number 3 as John Grant walks off the floor trying to find an answer. He's been held off the board for a while. He scored 3 goals so far. The third quarter was brought to you this afternoon by Mazda and the award-winning Protege and Protege 5. And by hotjobs.ca, a Yahoo service. Log on today and take control of your destiny. After 3 quarters, the Rock lead the Knighthawks 9-7. Quarter number 4 coming up next.
Power Vitamins for Men, proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at fine pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
Become the featured presentation at an invitation-only premiere by controlling who sees your resume and who doesn't, leaving just you, your resume, and the person who's hired it.
Hey guys, meet the new guy. Hi, I'm Bob Holtkamp. Hey, help yourself to some snacks. Speaking of which, you know what would taste good about now? Yeah, a big, hot and juicy cheeseburger. With everything. I can almost taste it. Knowing me, if there were a place to get a hamburger that good this late, I'd not only drive, I'd buy.
Really? Wendy's classic hamburgers are made fresh, so they're always hot and juicy, so you can eat great even late.
You must see the new guy.
Yeah, thanks. Wendy's, it's better here. Driving down that road again, sure could use a friend to lend a helping hand. I wanna be somebody, so I depend on you. Please help me be somebody. I wanna be somebody.
Our Jim Houston is back at it again. Another edition of Snapshots. And what a story or two this man can tell. Igor Larionov, since his day in the Soviet Union, now coming over to the National Hockey League and been prolific. Coming up February 24th, it's Snapshot with Jim Houston. Fourth quarter is brought to you by Jameson Power Vitamins for Men from Jameson Laboratories. And as well, brought to you by Canon, the leaders in digital photography. Astonish yourself. Other 2 men behind the bench getting set for a fourth quarter. Paul Day of the Rochester Knighthawks hoping that 7th goal late in quarter number 3 will ignite his team. Les Bartley has seen the type of defense that has made the Toronto Rock what they are, and now with quarter number 4 looming, can it continue?
2 very successful coaches, and Paul Day has never had a losing record with Rochester. In fact, this franchise, Rochester's never had a losing record.
And they've also never won at the Air Canada Centre.
No.
While we're talking about nevers, Andrew Turner to John Grant. Bomberry. Let the shot go, saved by Bob Watson. Big rebound. And the ball will go back to the Knighthawks as there was enough interference ran by Dan Ladouceur that the Knighthawks will retain possession. Plus, they'll have a full 30-second clock. Just 16 goals. Only 1 apiece in quarter number 3. Rebound. Bomberry can't get a shot. And the possession goes to the Rock. Couple of opportunities in the opening 30 seconds of quarter number 4 for the Knighthawks. Rock in transition, a 2-goal lead. Kevin Finneran has won this afternoon, his 19th of the season for the Rock. Fired before the start of the year.
Rochester starting to generate some offense from different guys besides the main ones we expect.
Blaine Manning moves in on offense. Looks to generate it in front to Wilson. That goes off the bar and just goes wide of the post off the goaltender. Pat O'Toole. That went off the bar, off the net. Might have missed the post by inches. Abrams brings the ball up the floor, mid-floor. Flips it to Shawn Williams. 2 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. Williams turned away by Pat Coyle. Eludes Coyle. Williams walks in and just puts it wide of the post. He races after the ball, grabs it. 5 seconds coming up on the shot clock. Williams moves in, flips it to the middle, and is stolen by Jim Veltman. That allows the Rock to break up the play, and they'll swing it back the other way as Ian Rubel.
That was a very wishful pass by Shawn Williams in the center there. Could have been dangerous if the Rock had moved the ball up the floor quickly. We saw a few weeks ago Ottawa got burned on a pass like that.
Tyler Livingstone chases the ball down to Rochester's end. Livingstone getting some playing time, and quarter number 4 just sails one high and wide of the bar. Patrick Merrill is harassed, bumped off the ball. Possession changes now for the Rochester Knighthawks. Coming up to 3 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. Rock have not lost to the Rochester team here on the Air Canada Center. It's been home sweet home for the most part for this club, except for a loss to Albany this year. Bomberry with a chance. Malawsky to Wilkins. His shot deflects off the back. Patrick Merrill. Possession will stay with the Knighthawks. 8 seconds left to go on the shot clock.
Merrill tackled John Grant here. They're switching up, so Ladouceur is going to cover Big John Grant.
There's a shot. 2:30-second clock. Knocked down Bomberry with a blast. He didn't take a look at the net. Tried to do a backhand thing and it just sailed wide. John Grant takes a loose ball. Brand new opportunity for the Knighthawks, but it's whistled down into the player's box. Is Glenn Clark, but the thing was, it was the wrong player's box.
White ball, white ball.
Glenn had a visit with the wrong guy.
I think Glenn Clark, he got hit into the bench door. Rochester had the door open, and I think that's why the Rock is getting the ball back. Now, it wasn't intentional. I mean, they were trying to make a change, but they got to keep that door closed.
That was smart if you're Glenn Clark.
No, it can hurt.
Colin Doyle. Relatively quiet this afternoon, harassed by Reggie
for Men, proud sponsor of the National Lacrosse League. Power Vitamins, available at fine pharmacies and better health food stores. From Jameson Laboratories.
She is great. She's a great lady. In fact, I just lent her my Black & Decker zip saw. She's become pretty attached to it. You know, you can cut these beautiful patterns in everything from wood to metal. I don't miss it.
The Zip Saw from Black & Decker.
Time now to take a look at the Black & Decker drill of the game. Brought to you by Black & Decker's swivel drill. And we just saw it. Let's take another look at it because this was a dandy hit.
Number 6, Dan Ladouceur. That's the play. And you know what? That was a nice slash, but I think that was an act.
I think so too, because he held his head, but I think he got him on the shoulder, didn't he?
Yeah, he got him on the shoulder. I think he's trying to draw a penalty, but that was a one-handed slash. I don't think it was too hard.
It seems to me that comes from one defender to another. I wonder if that happens with defenders.
You know what? Sometimes the offensive guys get the benefit of the doubt too often, but you know what? I don't think that was much, so I'll give John Grant the benefit of the doubt there. He's taken a lot worse.
But he got one there and delivered it. Here at Air Canada Center, Roger Williams, Brian Shanahan, Jim Lang on the floor, bringing you the action this afternoon. A battle of two of the league's top clubs, the Toronto Rock and the Rochester Knighthawks. John Grant back to Sudan, a shot that goes off the defender. And Glenn Clark is hurt already in the game. He's had an injury. Clark trying to hobble off the floor. Here's a chance in front for the Rock, and a shot just rolls wide of the post. Blaine Manning had an opportunity.
Glenn Clark, who was limping off the floor, decided to stay on. See how bad he's hurt there. Got a knee brace on.
Jenner in front of the pass. Can't get a shot away. Steve Cole does the job on defense. Holland back into the corner. Shoots. Scores! Oh, what a move! A great move by Jeremy Hollenbach. It's a one-goal game with 8:27 left to play.
And there looked like there was a bit of a mix-up with the Rock defenders trying to find out who they were covering. But watch Hollenbach coming out of the corner here. Now the other guys are all regrouping to see who to cover. And Hollenbach, was that Rubel that he just stepped in? Scored a goal, 14th goal of the season. That was poor defense from Toronto.
Hey, what? He had to have a couple of inches to sneak it in, but there wasn't much there. Rock lose possession at midfloor. Jim Veltman very unhappy with the official's call as Bill Fox said, no, going back to Rochester. Here's a chance for them to tie it. Transition, offense, they are on the attack. The Knighthawks have made it a 9-8 game. Back-to-back goals. John Grant has been silent but has the ball. Patrick Merrill on top of him. Grant tries to move to the midfloor. Lets a shot go, sails wide as the stick was just knocked away at the last second before he let it go away. Good job by Wilkins to try to find the loose ball. Glenn Clark with a nice move for the Rock. He has it. Less than 8 minutes to play. Quarter number 4, only a one-goal lead by the Rock. 7-3 in the season, the Toronto Rock. 6-2 for the Rochester Knighthawks. Veltman out of the corner. Moves it on Abrams. Veltman looking for goal number 4. That's a shot goal on the save. By Pat O'Toole. Here's Colin Doyle with a chance. Doyle shoots, and there's O'Toole coming up large here in quarter number 4.
Great effort by Veltman and Doyle to get that ball back. Doyle actually had a 1-on-4 there, but he made a good scoring chance out of it.
And Jeremy Hollenbach back on the floor after scoring the goal that cut the margin to 1 to John Grant. A quick shot, and there's Watson with the save. I don't think you're going to beat him from long range anymore. They did early on. The first 3 goals of Bob Watson has been pretty sharp since that time. Malawsky around the crease, looks for some help, can't find an open man, shoots, he scores! Derek Malawsky with a bounce shot. He showed great passion and finally found a way to bounce it high over the shoulder of Bob Watson.
And that's 3 in a row for Rochester. So as we were talking, they hadn't scored in a full quarter, but with this much talent on this squad, that doesn't mean anything. 3 goals down, 3 straight. Watch this effort by Malawsky. Come down, bounce shot. There we go. Usually when guys come around that side, you expect him to reach around to the far side. He goes short and bounces it in over Bob Watson.
Sandy, it's been an interesting game.
trying to knock it in, but Glenn Clark just tackled him.
Back up the floor come the Rock. It's been a while since the Rock have been able to score. Only one goal so far. In half number 2. Jim Veltman moves in on goal. Veltman with a chance and he goes right to the goal. And I mean goes right to the goal. But he couldn't find the answer. Veltman will go off the floor.
You know, it's amazing how quickly that momentum could change. Just a while ago we were talking about how the Rock seemed to be unbeatable here. 3 quick goals, and now we're talking about how they haven't scored in a while. You can't go into a defensive shell. There's so much time left in the game.
John Grant let the shot go just sails wide of the post. Grant had a golden opportunity. Loose ball. Bomberry has it. 10 seconds in the shot clock as that was wide of the net. Grant has the ball. To Malawsky in front to Shawn Williams. A backhand shot sails just wide. And it's stolen by Bob Watson. Less than 5 minutes to go in quarter 4. 9-9 in Toronto at Air Canada Center. The Knighthawks and Rock. Bolton Export National Lacrosse on Rogers Sportsnet. Glad you can be with us on this Saturday afternoon. Finneran moves to the middle of the floor. A shot and O'Toole's there to make the save. It's whistled down. And we're going to have a penalty. There's going to be a penalty called against the Rochester Knighthawks in that power play. For the Toronto Rock, they're 5 of 6. Brian Shanahan, they'll get another chance as Hollenbeck goes into the post.
Jeremy Hollenbeck gets called for holding here, and if there was ever an important kill for Rochester, this is it. And they're calling it, I don't know if it's them or Toronto, but there's a timeout that's been called for both teams to discuss what's going to happen here.
Paul Day is not happy with the officials. He certainly is unhappy. A lot of guys have been unhappy because of the bumps and the grinds rather that has happened here. And with that, we'll take a look at our Advil aches and pains of the game, brought to you by Advil for today's top pain. Well, it's been physical at times, but how about Richard taking that shot in the wrist?
That may be one of the worst. We haven't seen him back. The Rock's been going with 14 runners since. So they've given back their share of hits as well.
It's been physical in front of the goal, especially since the midway part of the second quarter, and John Grant has received a ton of attention, as you saw right there. But there's a timeout on the floor. Both teams will talk about it as the power play goes to the Toronto Rock. A crowd of in excess of 18,200 this afternoon. I think it was 248, but how about that?
Well, it's become the norm here in Toronto. Over 16,000 every game this year. The fans love it.
The Knighthawks trying to catch the Buffalo Bandits in the Central Division. It's been a tough order this year the way the Bandits have played, but a big win here in Toronto would go a long way.
They're still going to play each other 2 times, Roger.
Standing by the floor is our Jim Lang.
Thank you very much, Roger. There's no question this is almost like a playoff game between these 2 teams. Rochester desperate to get off the schneid. They have never won a game at Air Canada Center. And definitely the Toronto Rock want to prove to the rest of the league what they're all about. Another Molson Export bench report. Back up to you, Roger.
Both teams lots to prove. Rock trying to make it 6 of 7 on the power play. The number 1 power play in the National Lacrosse League with a chance to perhaps win it with less than 4.5 to go. Finneran to Colin Doyle. Power play Toronto. Pass across. Bounces away. Abrams can't clear. Finneran with a chance. Has
back up.
Finneran took his hand off the stick, grabbed his opponent. 2 for 4 in the power play with 5 shots. They have a 4-on-3 power play to try to tie it up with 3:30 to go in the 4th quarter. Williams to Grant. He's up there with Bomberry. Back to Williams, a shot saved by the goaltender Bob Watson. Pat Coyle tries to knock it away from the shot. Williams, and he does. It's whistled out. Possession. Where will it go? It'll go to the Toronto Rocket. Pat Coyle is hurt. He's on the floor. Referee has asked him, is he okay? Well, Pat Coyle's trying to find out.
I'll throw it back in a second. You don't see Pat Coyle going down too much. I'm sure the Rock bench is worried when they see that because he doesn't go down unless he's really hurt. He doesn't go down easily. But when you've got a 4-on-3 advantage against you, every time you get that ball, you want to kill that 30 seconds because it's not easy to kill a 4-on-3. But this is one of the best defenses to see Jim Veltman out there and Pat Coyle.
Rochester has outshot the Rock 46-39. Numbers sometimes lie, and that does. It's 10-9 Toronto. 13 on the shot clock. It's a power play for Rochester. Possession. Aaron Wilson of the Rock, a bounce shot that goes wide, and they quickly go after it. Hazen, the captain of the Knighthawks, grabs it, and in transition, the Rochester Knighthawks will have their power play opportunity. This is their 5th of the game, looking for their 3rd goal. Hazen gets off the floor. Is it for Hollenbach? He's out there with Bomberry and Grant. Curt Malawsky comes onto the floor. Grant is down low. He has possession of the ball. Cole, and Coyle and Veltman out there. Pat Coyle wasn't hurt very long. Here's Malawsky. Walks right in. He scores! Derek Malawsky, and he talked about the power play and how much of an advantage you have 4-on-3. Rochester Knighthawks took advantage. It's tied again.
And that's a really nice play because Toronto was locking on John Grant, meaning they were staying on him, not giving him any room. It's the fake that does it here for Derek Malawsky. He's more of a setup guy than a shooter, but what a nice fake there he puts on Steve Toll.
Well, Bobby Watson didn't open up that 5-hole much, but just enough.
Like I said, it's like a playoff game.
Veltman knocks his man down. Possession to the Knighthawks. 2:22 to go in the 4th quarter. Rochester 10, Toronto 10.
You know, Roger, in the playoffs, the team with the best record gets home field advantage. So, the way these guys play each other in the opposing rinks, both of them want to have it if these two meet later on.
Both teams are 4 aside. 15 seconds to go. Gerald Gibson on the penalties, that is. Gibson drops it to Patrick Merrill. Less than 2 minutes to go in quarter 4. Tied up at 10. Merrill has the ball. Penalties. Just 2 seconds left to go. Then it'll be even strength for both teams. Colin Doyle with a 10 on the shot clock. 10 career, 16 on the season.
And what a season he's been having, 16 goals. I would have to say that nobody would have expected him to play that well.
Well, timeouts have been called on the floor. They'll have a chance to talk. I believe possession is going back to the Toronto Rock, and the Knighthawks are not happy about that at all as they're talking to Bill Fox about it. Well, now let's get to the Speedy Drive of the game. And our Speedy Drive of the game is brought to you by Speedy Auto Service. At Speedy, you're a somebody. A little bit earlier in the second half.
And I think this was a huge goal. This is Ted Jenner scored it to make it 9-7 after they hadn't scored. Rochester hadn't scored in 15 minutes. And this gave them a bit of life when it looked like they were dead. They came back to score 3 straight goals, tied up. And now Toronto's come back, and this first time in the game when they've been swinging back and forth, goal and goal.
With 38.4 seconds to go, this possession call is critical.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen here. The Rock is going to try to eat up 30 seconds, get a shot on net, and if there's a chance, they will try to recover that ball, but they'll make sure there's no fast breaks. As soon as Rochester gets it, if they don't get a breakaway, it's timeout. And more planning of the plays.
Bartley watches on, 38.4 seconds. His team has possession. They also have a 1-goal lead, looking for their 8th win of the season. Colin Doyle getting hacked and whacked, trying to eat up the full 30. Doyle is knocked down, gets it over to Toll. Good job by Colin Doyle, who's on the floor. Possession stays to Blaine Manning. Manning with that nifty pass from the go-ahead goal. Manning out of the corner, being harassed. Still moves away from Andrew Turner. What a job by Blaine Manning. Less than 10 on the shot clock. Manning still has the ball. This time by Rochester, 6.8 seconds to go. Plenty of time for a shot and an equalizer.
Good job by Manning. He saw they weren't going to get a good chance on net, so he wasn't going to risk it by taking a long one and giving a potential breakaway. Just rolled in the corner. But still, 6.8 seconds. That's enough time to get a good scoring chance. And let's watch to see if John Grant's going to get this ball in his stick eventually.
Well, why they'll do that. Let's do this, the fourth quarter of this afternoon's game. And well, it's been a good one, hasn't it? That's been brought to you by Jameson Power Vitamins from N from Jameson Laboratories. And as well, it's been brought to you by Canon, the leaders in digital photography. Astonish yourself. Blaine Manning taking a break, and it's well earned after what he just showed us.
Oh, and he should be exhausted after that one, but this is going to be interesting here. Obviously, they're going to have their goalie called. I don't think the Rock is going to put any press on. So Rochester should have no problem getting that ball up the floor quickly. They'll be starting in front of their own net. It only takes about a second to throw that ball up the floor.
Malawsky will do that. Williams is out there. Sudan. Hollenbach. Bomberry and Grant. It's Gibson. Veltman. Coyle. Clark and Lattiser defensively for Toronto, and the clock is underway. They bring it up in a hurry. Malawsky runs it up. Derek Malawsky feeds it across to Sudan. He can't get his shot away, and time is going to run on the clock. Rochester unable to get a shot away as the Rock find a way to win on home floor once more.
Well, that was a fantastic game by both teams and a big win for Toronto Rock to maintain that mental advantage over Rochester, and the home floor advantage brings them.
There's the game winner. Aaron Wilson scores it in the last minute. Les Bartley says, yes, we knew it all along. An 11-10 win for the Toronto Rock over the Rochester Knighthawks. Another solid effort on home floor.
Molson Export National Lacrosse has been brought to you by Molson Export. At X today, by Warner Brothers' upcoming movie, Cradle to the Grave, in theaters February the 28th. By the Government of Canada. Reach us at 1-800-O-CANADA or canada.gc.ca. And by www.winnetruck.ca. Log on today for your chance to win.
Our next telecast of Molson Export National Lacrosse next Friday night from Vancouver. GM Place, it'll be the Ravens and New York Saints. There are the times in your regions. Coming up next, we'll have an update on a busy afternoon on Saturday with Jason Portwando at Sportsnet News, the early edition. And following Jason, it will be Hockey Central. Darren Millard steps in for an ailing Darren Dreger. He'll go one-on-one with Steve Eisen. everyone. I'm Jason Portwando. Hopefully you enjoyed that thrilling lacrosse affair from Toronto at the ACC, the Rock prevailing just by 1. No action at the ACC tonight for the Leafs. That's because they are on the road at the Bell Center for the 5th and final time this season. It's the Habs and yes, the Leafs getting it on a Saturday night. And how about Toronto? Earlier in the year, they couldn't win at all on the road. Tonight, they're looking for their 7th straight away from the ACC, and heck, they've won 9 of their last 10 as well.
We need to fit them in. We're at a stretch of a lot of games in a short period of time. So we wanted to give Eddie 1 or 2 off, and we elected to do it today. And part of the thinking was that last time in here, kid had a good outing, and hopefully he'll do that again.
The ratio's down from what it was early in the season, and being 8-9 games between starts. For the most part, now we're about 5, so it's a little bit easier preparing and getting ready for games.
It's always a good game, great rivalry from years back, obviously. I was always a Habs fan when I was growing up. Obviously now I'm a Leafs fan, so they're always exciting games to play in, and I'm sure it'll be another good one tonight.
Things on the other side of the puck aren't so grand for Claude Julien and company. In fact, right now they're on that bubble in the playoff version of the Eastern Conference. They're about 2 points back of the Boston Bruins, but the Bruins do have a pair of games in hand. As for Claude Julien, just trying to get some momentum and trying to get his team into the postseason and back on track after losing 7 of their last 10.
We're not confident offensively right now. We haven't scored a lot of goals, but I think we've been still creating the chances, but we're not just putting the puck in the net, sir. So just have to keep it simple, make sure we have guys going in the net, and hope it's going to work out.
I think our power play needs to step up and score some goals, and we need to get more shots and keep it more simple. You know, it seems to me we've got a little. We're trying to find some chemistry on the lines right now, but hopefully we can do that in the next few games.
Well, speaking of the Eastern playoff race, here's a look at the standings as we speak. Leading the way in the division, yes, we have Ottawa, New Jersey, and Washington. Toronto is currently in 5th and surging, just 2 back of Philadelphia, who is in 4th, and Montreal on the bubble, just 2 back of Boston. But as you can see, the Bruins going into tonight do have a pair of games in hand. Afternoon action today, St. Louis at Pittsburgh. Mario and the Pens have lost 4 of their last 5 at home, facing a bruised and battered Keith Tkachuk. Wow. His team looking to do some damage in the second period. Tkachuk playing as well as he looks, coughing it up right there to Wayne Primo. To Rico Fata. Welcome to Pittsburgh, 1-0 Pens. 90 seconds later, Keith Tkachuk making up for his mistake, finding Pavel Demitra, his 24th. He beats Sebastian Caron. And we're tied at 1 after 2, third period. Blues on a break. Corey Spillman to Steve Martin. He goes in all alone on Caron. Can he beat him? Answer, no. Still tied 1-1. We're heading into free hockey. Mary Lemieux to Sean Hines. Sean who? Hines, there's no other Hines. He beats Brett Johnson 5-hole. Pens win it 2-1. The Blues were trying to extend their road unbeaten streak to 5 games. That doesn't happen. Pittsburgh had lost 4 of their last 5 home games. Well, they were victorious today in OT. Thrashers goalie Byron Defoe has been diagnosed with a sports hernia, but it's not known if season-ending surgery is required. Defoe, who has been sidelined 3 times this season with groin injuries, will continue receiving treatment for the next 7 to 10 days, and then at that point, they will make the decision if surgery is needed. The 31-year-old is 5-11-1 with a 4.36 goals against average in just 17 games. A couple of roster moves to tell you about today. The Buffalo Sabres have shipped goalie Ryan Miller down to Rochester of the AHL. He had just 1 win in his last 7 starts, including that 4-1 loss to Los Angeles last night. Now, as a result of this, the Sabres have recalled goalie Mika Noren to take his spot. Meanwhile, the Senators have called up defenseman Brian Pache from AHL Bennington today. He's appeared in 3 games with Ottawa this season. Speaking of those Ottawa Senators, they haven't lost back-to-back games at the Corral in almost a year, believe it or not. But that streak could be in jeopardy tonight when they continue their 6-game homestand against Nashville. That's right, the Predators have lived up to their name lately, preying on their last 4 opponents, and can set a franchise high tonight with consecutive victories. If they do it tonight, that will be 5 straight. As for Daniel Alfredson and company, obviously knowing this, they're not taking Nashville very lightly as they themselves look to get back into that win column.
They don't have the firepower up front, so they got to play conservatively and try to capitalize on turnovers. And that's so we got to be sharper than last game.
No, there's no give me 2 points. You know, a lot of teams are, you know, obviously fighting for playoff spots, and if they're not fighting for playoff spots, guys are fighting for jobs. So, you know, we know that, you know, any team you face at this time of year is a tough matchup, and, you know, obviously Nashville's coming in pretty hot.
It's kind of like the playoffs already for them. They've won 4 in a row, too, I think, so they're on a bit of a streak. Their goal is playing really well, so it's going to be a tough game. We know we went into their building there before the new year, and they come hard every night and then play that style, so it's going to have to work.
Big weekend for curling fans. The Scott Tournament of Hearts is taking place in Kitchener, where Colleen Jones is awaiting the winner of tonight's semi between PEI and Newfoundland. Meanwhile, the men are in action as we speak at the Pharmacist Players Championship in Leduc, Alberta. Here is a look at what is taking place right now in the quarters as we take a look. 3 of the matches in the 7th frame, 1 in the 8th. Now the Grand Slamming of curling, the Pharmacist Players Championship. Where can you watch it? Where else? But right here on Rogers Sportsnet. Tonight we've got the semi-final, coast to coast for you, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Sunday it's the semi-final number 2, that at 3 Eastern, and the final goes at 8 Eastern. So we've got you back for the Pharmacist Players Championship action. Right. Third run action, Tiger Woods. 6 back of the leader, Charles Howell. Not the first, not the second, but the third. Tiger struggling today. 8th hole, his approach shot is very unlike Tiger. Missing the green. 12th hole, par 3. Woods yelling for tee shot, heading towards the gallery. But wait, it gets worse on 13. What the heck's he doing? Hitting it left-handed. Off the tree, back into the fairway. 14th hole, putting for birdie, won't go. 17th, Woods approach. He's got his head down. Yeah, it's way left. 4 again. Tiger. What is going on? Clearly not his day. Finishes at even for the tourney. 2 over on the day. Charles Howell III. Coming to day 3. 8 under and 1 up on Nick Price. 10th hole. From the sand, the great chip setting up the birdie putt, but he misses. Remaining at 10 under. 14th hole, par 3. Mike Weir chipping for birdie, rolls by, and then he putting for par, can't get it to go. He falls to -4 for the tournament. As you can see, that's where he sits right now. But Charles Howell III is the man. He is number 1 at 11 under, 3 shots ahead of Nick Price. Karts Grand Prix of St. Petersburg qualifying. Patrick Carpentier top Canadian yesterday during provisional qualifying action. Carpentier was faster today, finishing with a speed of 105.274 miles per hour. Will start 4th on tomorrow's grid. Alex Tagliani 9th after provisional qualifying. Struggled today, spinning out here, finishing with a speed of 103.987. He sits 13th on the grid. Paul Tracy is 10th after provisional qualifying session. Looking better to do, a little better, perhaps do better than that today. And you know what? Turned out to be the top Canadian. Speed 105.758. He sits on the front row, the 2nd spot, top qualifier yesterday. Sebastian Bourdais. His speed 106.710. So he was flying. Speaking of flying, that will do it for this abbreviated edition of Sportsnet News. The more lengthy version coming up after the guys. Up next with Hockey Central.
Academy Award winner Robin Williams in the film Rolling Stone called Truly Deeply Scary. 2 thumbs up. Pretend this is all pretend. 1 hour photo. Own the DVD or rent the video today.
With ProLine, anyone can be a winner. Here's a recap of last week's total ProLine winning. Log on to ProLine.ca for all the odds and how to play information. ProLine, because anything can happen. Anyone can win.
You want to live it up. Unwind. You want to play to win, but you want even more. Then go to Future Shop and get more. So you don't just get the right home theater system, you get more out of it. Future Shop. Come see what your future has in store.
In Canada, we know what goes into the box hot tends to cool down. Same goes for all those hamburgers and boxes in the American chains, but at Hardee's they come hot off the grill and topped the way you like it. Like our charbroiled Harvey's Original Hamburger at a special price of $1.88. See, to us, sitting in a box for 5 minutes is a major infraction. Real big taste. Harvey's.
Wir bei Fidelity Investments glauben, dass globale Kompetenz in Sachen Geldmanagement deriva dell'esperienza e della profonda conoscenza dei nei poitauziere pan. Yanwai. En réalité, pour faire de l'argent sur les marchés mondiaux, we believe the markets cannot be foreign to your mutual fund company.
Fidelity Investments. Get the world's largest mutual fund company working for you.
Tonight on Hockey Central. Two teams headed in two different directions. The Leafs will try to set a franchise record tonight, while Montreal searches for an end to their slump. They're the hottest team in hockey, and tonight the magic number for the Canucks is 12. Can the Oilers stop Vancouver's streak and start one of their own? Last-minute letdowns. Will Martin get his team to pay attention for a full 60 against Nashville? A comeback with no guarantees.
There's some days where I haven't felt too good, and I thought, there's no chance here, and I've walked out of here other days thinking I'm going to play 5 more years.
Steve Yzerman tries to make it back for the love of the game. And 1 year after the win, how will Canada's gold medal performance be remembered? Find out tonight on Hockey Central, presented by Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, you're among friends.
Hockey Central with Darren Millard, Scott Morrison, and Nick Gabriel.
Darren Dreger's voice has abandoned him, which made Nick a happy guy because he thought he would have more time to talk. But when faced with the possibility of having to host and analyze, you bailed.
Hey, let's get one thing straight. Our first two choices, Hazel and Jody Vance, you weren't even in our top 5. I don't know how you snuck in this show.
Obviously, they have better things to do on the weekend than hang out with you two. But we'll hear from these guys in just a moment. But first, to the business of the night. And the Habs have been as silent as Mr. Dreger this week. And tonight, they face a Leafs team that is one of the loudest in the league, 9-1 in their last 10. Toronto goes to work in search of a franchise record, 7th consecutive road win this evening. Hockey Central's Barry Davis handles all franchise records personally, and he joins us to set things up at the Bell Center. Barry?
Actually, I sound like a broken record. That's what you probably meant to say, Darren. But yeah, it's quite a remarkable run the Maple Leafs find themselves on, especially when you consider at the beginning of the season, they were just terrible on the road, 3-7-1 in their first 11 games. Since that point, they are 12-4-1-1. Now, Pat Quinn surprised a few people tonight by going with Trevor Kidd in goal instead of Eddie Belfour, but the last time they were in this building, Kidd played extremely well, but had to leave the game in the third period with a groin injury. Couple that with the fact that, well, they play again tomorrow night against Nashville. It made Quinn's decision a little bit easier.
We need to fit him in. We're at a stretch of a lot of games in a short period of time, so we wanted to give Eddie 1 or 2 off, and we elected to do it today. And part of the thinking was that last time in here, Kid had a good outing, and hopefully he'll do that again.
The ratio's down from what it was early in the season, and being 8-9 games between starts. For the most part now we're about 5, so it's a little bit easier preparing and getting ready for games.
It's always a good game, great rivalry from years back, obviously. I was always a Habs fan when I was growing up. Obviously now I'm a Leafs fan, so they're always exciting games to play in, and I'm sure it'll be another good one tonight.
Though things are not going well for the Habs as of late, the Montreal Canadiens on the outside of the playoff race looking in. As our Barry Morgan reports, if they want to get back into the race, they better get the offense jumping.
The Canadiens have won just 3 of their last 10 games. A major factor, they've scored only 18 goals.
We're not confident offensively right now. We haven't scored a lot of goals, but I think we've been still creating the chances, but we're not just putting the puck in the net, sir. So we just have to keep it simple, make sure we have guys going in the net, and hope it's going to work out.
We got lots of chances, and we just have to finish it up. I mean, we're creating great chances, we play great defense. We just have to stay composed and play in the system the way we're playing.
Another disheartening area is the power play. In the same 10-game span, the Canadiens are 2 for 36 with the man advantage.
Our power play needs to step up and score some goals, and we need to get more shots and keep it more simple. You know, it seems to me we've got a little. We're trying to find some chemistry on the lines right now, but hopefully we can do that in the next few games.
The Canadiens are not a physical team. In fact, they're the least penalized team in the league, but they've added toughness up front with the addition of Gordy Dwyer.
I'm just a guy that goes finishes my hits, and then, if people take exception to it, usually have to do something about it, and I'm always a willing combatant that way.
How we played against him previously. He's been in the organization. He's going to be a physical guy. He's going to bring energy. He finishes all the checks, and with Randy, myself, and him, we have the ability of finishing a lot of checks and hopefully creating some stuff out there.
While Dwyer looks to make a good impression, Jose Theodore goes for just his second win in 8 games. Barry Morgan, Sportsnet, Montreal.
All right, thank you very much, Barry. The 5th and final meeting of the season between these two teams. So far, the Canadians are 1-1-1-1. If that makes sense, we'll send it back to you guys.
All right, double dose of Barry post-game coverage on Sportsnet News tonight. Have fun tonight, okay?
All right, thank you.
Note 27 going for the Toronto Maple Leafs again this evening. Nick Kyprios, a 4th straight game that he's been a healthy scratch. He can't get into this lineup that's going pretty good.
Yeah, it is going pretty good, and that's pretty much the way it's going to be, I believe. A lot of people thought that he might be in a rotating basis with the team being so healthy, but no, that's not the case with Pat Quinn's team. Apparently, don't fix what isn't broken, and he's going to have to wait for an injury.
To be fair, Toronto's been grooving for more than just the last 4 games. In fact, this has been one of the best hockey clubs since probably the middle of November.
Yeah, a little more than 3 months. They've been among the very hottest in the National Hockey League, and everybody remembers the slow start. But you look at the 3 Canadian teams right at the very top of the NHL since November 10th in terms of win percentage. Ottawa just slightly ahead of Toronto and the Vancouver Canucks. And when you talk to the Leafs, they all point to a game on November 12th at the Air Canada Centre against the Los Angeles Kings. They were up 3-0 in that game. Everything was going smoothly, a great start. All of a sudden, the Kings chip away. They tie it up. Toronto at the time, a very fragile team. Their confidence was low. They won that game in overtime, and they say, had that not happened, that could have been devastating. It could have crushed them for the season. And since then, they've been, as we see, red hot.
And what a difference between October and tonight, because you never would have expected that Pat Quinn would play Trevor Kidd on a Saturday night with Nashville coming in on back-to-back nights the next night. But Trevor Kidd will go tonight, and he's been pretty good lately.
Yeah, he has. After a bit of a slow start, October he's settled in quite nicely. Winner of the last 4 out of 5 games, a save percentage of .921 and a goals against average of 2.49. Those are outstanding numbers in a backup role situation. And obviously, there might be a few surprises that Trevor Kidd's in, but when you factor that he's backing up a goalie that's 37 years old with a bit of a history of having a back problem, I think it's a pretty good move by Pat Quinn. Yeah, the small picture might be for the Toronto Maple Leafs to put themselves in a home ice advantage come playoff time, but the big picture, I'm sure, for Pat Quinn is to make sure Eddie Belfour is 100% healthy going in to the month of April.
And the good news is for the defensemen, if they get bored back there, they can always play checkers on Trevor's pads, just in case there's not enough action. Anyway, Toronto's one of the hottest teams in the NHL right now, but moves are a definite possibility. Find out in a couple of weeks. Hockey Central at the trade deadline prepares you for the big day with an hour-long preview on the Monday night, and then we come back early on Tuesday for 6 hours of coverage. Our full panel will be along. Follow the buyers and sellers with us here at Rogers Sportsnet. When we continue on Hockey Central, we go to Detroit, where Chris Simpson speaks with Red Wings captain Steve Yzerman. He hasn't played a game this season, but he's in no hurry to retire.
I think I'll be all right playing. I don't have the same ability that I had right to play. The only uncertainty I have is how I'm going to respond after a couple of games. How is my knee going to blow up like it did last year, or am I going to be okay?
Plus, the Oilers gave away any chance of victory against Yzerman's Wings this week. Tonight, they battle the division-leading Canucks. We size up their chances as Hockey Central continues.
See? Boston Pizza has so much more than just pizza. They got ribs and pasta and hundreds of dishes to choose from, which makes it perfect for the work and lunch, or dinner with the family, or just hang with the team. I'm going to go back to the family.
Boston Pizza, over 100 dishes worth sitting down with.
Hi, everybody, I'm Howie. Go ahead and eat. I already ordered.
Looking for a great place to eat? You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
The home of the Maple Leaf, where crisp, clean, cold beer comes from. can get everything you want in a car and in life, you win.
He's the last event in the Pharmacist Grand Slam of Curling, presented by M&M Meat Shops, and the game's best compete for $150,000. The Pharmacist Players Championship semifinal, tonight at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. This edition of Hockey Central, brought to you by Boston Pizza. You're among friends at Boston Pizza. And by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
He's preparing right now. Jason Borwando getting ready for the early edition of Sportsnet News. Vancouver voting on 2010, a key moment in Canada's Olympic history. And can Tigers take charge of the Nissan? That's coming up in half an hour. Tonight marks the season's final opportunity for the Oilers to beat a team from BC. Edmonton has managed a woeful overtime loss in 4 games against the Canucks this season. And as Gene Principe reports, the way the Whale are playing right now, things won't be any easier tonight.
There's a lot to smile about these days if you're a Vancouver Canuck. On Thursday, a 4-2 win over St. Louis allowed Vancouver to go unbeaten in 11 to set a franchise high. Also, with a victory tonight in Edmonton, the Canucks would have 20 road wins, and that would tie a club record.
It's a lot of fun to win at any level, but when you're doing it at the NHL level and you've had as much success as we have, you have to enjoy it and at the same time try to remain focused and try to continue to strive to improve.
It's definitely enjoyable, and yeah, we're finding ways to win. We might not play our best hockey at times, but we're still coming back from deficits, and we're holding leads now, and we're doing things that the winning teams do.
These are painful times for Edmonton Oilers head coach Craig McTavish. Back home after a 6-2 loss in Detroit, in which the Wings struck for 5 power play goals. It was no surprise before this morning's practice that the Oilers worked on the penalty kill, as they meet a Canucks team with 8 power play goals in the team's first 4 meetings.
We have to be really solid. They've come at us real hard early on in both hockey games here at Skyreach so far this season. So it's important for us to get off to a good start, and that normally means killing a penalty or 2 in the first period, as it's been for us when we play Vancouver.
You know, we've had pretty good games against this club. It's always come down to special teams. Here's the PK or the PP. That the big goals have come about and cost the hockey game. But for us, I think we're now, after having a couple of tough losses after a long road trip, let's get back home here and play this team that we're pretty familiar with.
We're moving the puck a lot better. I think we're getting the puck in the zone a lot quicker than we used to, and when you can get a lot of time in there with the amount of weapons we have, you're going to be successful there.
The NHL's longest undefeated streak this season is courtesy of the Dallas Stars, and it is something the Canucks could equal this evening with a victory or a tie, while the Oilers, after 4 straight losses, are hoping not to equal their longest losing streak of the season, which stands at 5. Gene Principe, Sportsnet, Edmonton.
Thank you, Eugene. The man that's going to lead that Oilers hockey club out through those doors tonight is Tommy Salo, and he has to play better. Really, it's been a year-long slump for Tommy, going back to the Belarus game almost a year ago, Nick.
Yeah, and short term, it was just an absolutely horrific road trip for Tommy Salo as well, giving up 17 goals in just 4 games and 1 period where he ultimately ended up getting pulled against Detroit. And guys, I really, you may go back to the Olympics, but there's no doubt about it, Tommy Salo lacks confidence, and more importantly, I think the players lack confidence in Tommy Salo, and whether they sit comfortably in 8th position or not, or whether they barely sneak into the playoffs, it won't matter. If this guy doesn't get his game back on, it'll be a very, very short time in the playoffs. He has to regain his form if they have any chance of making noise. This is a terrible time with less than 20 games, around 20 games to go, for a guy in his position to lose his confidence.
Well, and guess what? It's catching. There's a lot of players in that dressing room who are struggling overall. Losers of 6 out of 7 for the first time since he's been coach of the Edmonton Oilers. Craig McTavish yesterday had a closed-door meeting, players and coaches only. They went over all the problems that have affected this team over the past week or 2, and hopefully they feel they've arrived at a few conclusions that may solve those problems.
No closed-door meetings needed on the other side. The Canucks are definitely getting it done. Todd Bertuzzi said they're moving the puck better, but the bottom line is they're keeping the puck out of the net on a consistent basis.
Well, they are. It's a different hero every night with that Canuck team, and they're getting a lot of offense from the blue line. Everybody talks about the big line, Bertuzzi and Naslin, obviously, and Morrison of late contributing to the offense, but they've been getting offense from the back end. Malik with the overtime winner at the great comeback versus Detroit the other night. Nolan Baumgartner versus St. Louis. He had a couple of goals or a couple of points in that game. And then 24 games where the defense has chipped in with goals. The club is 15, 4, and 5. So it's no coincidence that when they get some help from the back end and having Ed Jovanovski helps, they are a very successful team.
St. Louis Blues, of course, a team that's got it done this year without their main blue liner and Chris Pronger. Well, no Pronger again tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Afternoon action, Merrill Lemieux and the Pens lost 4 of their last 5. Second period, Tkachuk coughed it up, and Wayne Primo sets up Rico Fata. One of the guys that come over in the Alexei Kovalev trade, Fata scores his third, 1-0 Pens. 90 seconds later, Keith Tkachuk makes up for his mistake. Finds Pavel Demitra, number 24, tied up at 1 after a pair. Go to the third now. Blues on a break. Corey Stillman to Steve Martins. And he will go the other way. In all alone. Sebastian Caron, the only man back, and that's all the Penguins needed. What a save. Sets up overtime. It gives the Penguins an opportunity. Merrill Lemieux for Sean Hines. Beats Brent Johnson. Hines' first of the year. Pens win 2-1. St. Louis falls in overtime. Merrill Lemieux's assist gives them 78 points on the season.
And while the attention still seems to be on Sean Burke in terms of goaltending, I'm hearing that the St. Louis Blues are making inquiries on Archie Urbaiz of Carolina.
By the way, Merrill Lemieux, 3 points up on Boston's Joe Thornton for the league lead. Straight ahead on Hockey Central, the Sens have had to face the music for recent third-period letdowns. Is Nashville the cure for what ails them tonight? Plus, where will history put Canada's 2002 Olympic gold medal victory? It was a great moment for Gretzky. Picture perfect, if you will. The panel discusses this and more on Hockey Central next.
Closed captioning of this program brought to you by CarStar Quality Collision Service. In a fender bender, call 1-800-CAR-STAR. We treat you like a star.
Giving out the impression that we're pretty good friends. Darren Millard along with Nick Kiprios with the Hockey News Puck Poll. We want to know, if the Calgary Flames go ahead and trade Jerome McGinley, who is the front runner to pick up his services? Sportsnet.ca is the place to cast your vote. You got to wonder, from Jerome's perspective, if you would welcome a trade, Nick.
I think so. I think there's too much pressure for him to do it all alone. $6 million man and not much support.
I guess you can relate to that, can't you?
Especially on the Hockey News.
People say I'm a lot of fun at parties, but I don't know when to leave. That's why I love it here at Boston Pizza, because it's open late, so I never have to leave. You feel the atmosphere? Who wants to dance? Take that as a no. Look at the food. Isn't it great? I don't know you people, but I've decided to stay with you. I may leave in an hour or two. Your name? I'm Howie. I'm doing a commercial. You're in it.
Late night at Boston Pizza. Order from our full menu until closing.
Boston Pizza, open late. I'm staying.
Up late? You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
Why do we do what we do? Why do we look like we do? Why do we order the large wings when a medium would do? Why do we sacrifice sleep for a good time? Why do we do it? Because we can. The Coors Light Brewing Company wishes you a most excellent weekend. Coors Light, the silver bullet.
Your winter weather? More snow with a 100% chance of acceleration. The award-winning Mazda Tribute with available on-demand all-wheel drive. It's what makes winter cool.
For 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Now play.
Oh, I hope I'm not intruding. About Schmidt has been nominated for 2 Academy Awards, including Best Supporting Actress Kathy Bates and Best Actor Jack Nicholson. About Schmidt. Now play. The hits of the week, brought to you by CarStar. We treat you like a star.
Coming across, Anton Volchenkov
points for the NHL's #1 ranked Senators in splitting 4. Ottawa has been outplayed in the third periods, allowing a pair of final minute goals in the 2 defeats. Well, tonight they get Nashville, where the focus is on playing strong wall-to-wall.
No, there's no give me 2 points. You know, a lot of teams are, you know, obviously fighting for playoff spots, and if they're not fighting for playoff spots, guys are fighting for jobs. So, you know, we know that, you know, any team you face at this time of year is a tough matchup, and, you know, obviously Nashville's coming in pretty hot.
Probably don't have as much skill as us, but they got, you know, they got guys that work hard and they play good as a team. You know, tough team to play against. We got to be on top of our game.
We make mistakes. We just have to back each other up, and I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later. Someone's going to make a mistake, but you just have to be able to, I guess, not let it get in the back of your net.
And we're looking to play a good solid 60 minutes tonight and give our best and see what happens.
No Chara, no Phillips, or Brian Pache has been called up. The last time Steve Yzerman played an official game, he accepted the Stanley Cup for a 3rd time, handed it to the retiring Scotty Bowman, and hobbled off the ice. Well, since then, his Red Wings have defended the championship by contending for a division title, while Yzerman has endured months of rehab from a surgically repaired knee. With his return imminent, Chris Simpson speaks with the Detroit captain.
Great leaders lead by example. Steve Yzerman with a right knee that's turning the sawdust every game.
Everybody knows he's hurting, so if you're wearing another color uniform, you look for number 19.
At the time, I really didn't think about it, and I really didn't fully understand like the difficulties that I had or what was really going on with my knee. It's weird. I just felt sore and it hurt, but I really didn't, like I said, I didn't really understand what was happening in there. Obviously, to me, it was worth it. I'm glad I played. It was a great experience.
For Steve Yzerman, an Olympic gold medal and his 3rd Stanley Cup was reason for celebration. But the victory came at a cost for the veteran Red Wings. His price, off-season knee surgery and months of painful rehabilitation.
The prognosis following surgery was 6 months of rehab, putting Yzerman back in the lineup anytime now. But when his own doctor recommended he not return to the ice, speculation arose that retirement was near, a thought that even Yzerman says crossed his mind.
There's some days where I haven't felt too good, and I thought, you know, there's no chance here, and I've walked out of here other days thinking I'm going to play 5 more years, you know, so it's really, you know, kind of been up and down for the most part, but I really don't know, and I won't know until I get in there how I'm going to respond. You know, I think I'll be all right playing. I don't have the same mobility that I had, but I can play. The only uncertainty I have is, you know, how I'm going to respond after a couple of games. How, you know, is my knee going to blow up like it did last year, or am I going to be okay?
While only time will tell just how much punishment his 37-year-old body can withstand, for Yzerman, it's a risk he's willing to take.
You've won 3 Stanley Cups, a Conn Smythe Trophy, an Olympic gold medal. A lot of people would be asking you right now, why are you putting yourself through all of this?
You know, it's really easy. You know, I've got the rest of my life to be a retired hockey player. I'm not in a rush to do it. I've had a chance to talk to a lot of guys who have retired, have gone on to be successful in hockey, outside of hockey, done a lot of things, and every one of them, I haven't met a guy who says they're glad it's over. You know, they would play forever if they could.
What more would you say about Steve Yzerman, the contribution he makes, certainly on his way to the Hockey Hall of Fame when he decides he's done?
It's getting closer to time to move on and do something else, so I have put a great deal of thought into it.
What do you see yourself doing?
I haven't come up with any good answers yet, so I'm still thinking about it.
That's why you have to keep playing.
Yeah, exactly.
He hasn't called you yet, has he, Nick? Wanting a job here?
Guys, he looks like he's still 18. It's unbelievable.
Steve Yzerman's not on the trip in Washington tonight. Scotty, when might we see him back in the lineup?
Well, the plan is Monday at home against the LA Kings, and if something delays that, then Thursday against the Toronto Maple Leafs, also at home. And the plan for the remainder of the season is to play every second game to make sure that knee is properly rested.
Part of the big year for Stevie Yzerman was the Olympic gold medal championship. We reflect on that. The victory in Salt Lake City when we continue in Hockey Central.
Vince and Ben Hoare, weeknights at 6:30 on Sportsnet News.
See? Boston Pizza has so much more than just pizza. They got ribs and pasta and hundreds of dishes dishes to choose from, which makes it perfect for the working lunch, or dinner with the family, or just hang with the team. I'm going to go back to the family.
Boston Pizza, over 100 dishes worth sitting down with.
Hi, everybody, I'm Howie. Hey, go ahead and eat. I already ordered.
Looking for a great place to eat? You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
Why do we do what we do? Why do we look like we do? Why do we order the large wings when a medium would do? Why do we sacrifice sleep for a good time? Why do we do it? Because we can. The Coors Light Brewing Company wishes you a most excellent weekend. Coors Light, the silver bullet.
When you can get everything you want in a car and in life, you win.
Now there's a new way to help soothe your skin after shaving. New Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm with vitamins. It has advanced moisturizers to soothe and improve the look of your skin. Nivea Aftershave Balm. More evolved skincare.
You love your wood floors. So does Swiffer WetJet. Only WetJet has a super absorbent pad and a controllable jet spray of cleaning solution. Wood floors are clean and dry in a wink. Swiffer WetJet, member of the National Wood Flooring Association.
It's the last event in the Pharmacist Grand Slam of Curling, presented by M&M Meat Shops, and the game's best compete for $150,000. The Pharmacist Players Championship semifinal, tonight at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. This edition of Hockey Central, brought to you by Boston Pizza. You're among friends at Boston Pizza. And by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
Providing my voice is okay, I'll be back Monday with the hockey news. We poll the league's top snipers as to the importance of winning the title of scoring champion, plus another episode of Nick's award-winning 2 Minutes in the Box.